Okay, so friends, just tell me whether I'm audible to you. Can you hear me? ओके, सो आज का ये जो हमारा लेक्चर है ये HPCL में जो आपका ऑफिसर्स, मैकेनिकल ऑफिसर्स कैटेगरी में जो आप में एग्जाम लिखने जा रहे हैं उसके लिए है। और IBPS पैटर्न के बाद IBPS के अकॉर्डिंगली कैसा पेपर में डिफिकल्टी आएगा। सो लेट मी टेल यू, टेक्निकल में डिग्री ऑफ डिफिकल्टी थोड़ा सा बढ़ने के चांस है, बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं। लेकिन रीजनिंग एप्टीट्यूड वाले पार्ट में मेरे को लगता है कि डिग्री ऑफ डिफिकल्टी आपका ज़्यादा इंक्रीज हो सकता है। तो रीजनिंग एप्टीट्यूड में यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट कि डिफिकल्टी लेवल थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा क्रिएट होगा। लेकिन टेक्निकल वाले पार्ट में ऐसा नहीं कि बहुत ड्रास्टिक डिफरेंस आएगा। न्यूमेरिकल पार्ट बढ़ सकता है थोड़ा सा, लेकिन आप अपनी तैयारी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स के अकॉर्डिंगली वैसे ही करें। मैं ये डॉक्यूमेंट जो भी आपको करवाऊंगा, जो एक्सपेक्टेड क्वेश्चंस हैं HPCL में ऑफिसर कैटेगरी में मेरी डोमेन से, उसमें ये डॉक्यूमेंट मैं शेयर करूंगा व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे, जिसका लिंक हमारा इस वीडियो के साथ लगा हुआ है। तो अगर आप किसी व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे नहीं हैं अभी तक तो आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं। सेल का टेस्ट सीरीज आई डोंट नो, मतलब आप उसके लिए लगाओ IBPS पैटर्न पे। आप जो IBPS के लिए जो क्वेश्चंस हैं वो हम आपको दे रहे हैं। हाँ, मतलब अगर आप एप्टीट्यूड और रीजनिंग की बात कर रहे हैं तो आप ठीक है, मतलब डिग्री ऑफ डिफिकल्टी थोड़ा सा ज्यादा आप बोल सकते हैं। लेकिन ये जो आपको टेक्निकल है, मेंटर आपको क्वेश्चन शेयर करेंगे आपके व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में, इन क्वेश्चंस को लगाएं आप। और मेरे को लगता है ये क्वेश्चन अगर आप प्रैक्टिस करेंगे तो आपका बन जाएगा स्कोर, उतना जितना हम चाहते हैं वो हिट हो जाएगा। तो ये हम ऑफिसर कैटेगरी के लिए जो फ्रेंड्स हमारा प्रिपरेशन है उसके लिए करेंगे। मैं अपने पार्ट में कैसे डिफरेंस आएगा, कैसे आपको करना है, उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा आपको बताऊंगा। आज के लेक्चर में हम कुछ क्वेश्चन उसके करेंगे और फिर राजीव सर अपना पार्ट लेके आएंगे। तो ये सारे का सारा हमारा जो प्रीवियस एनालिसिस है, अब IBPS के बाद, उसके पैटर्न के बाद जो डिफिकल्टी लेवल आपका बढ़ सकता है, हम उसी के ऊपर बात कर रहे हैं कि किस तरीके से हमारा डिफिकल्टी लेवल इंक्रीज हो सकता है और क्वेश्चन हमारे कैसे बन सकते हैं। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं विदाउट वेस्टिंग एनी टाइम। मैं कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चन आपको कराऊंगा जो बहुत ही एक्सपेक्टेड हैं, जहां से क्वेश्चन आने के चांस बहुत ज्यादा हैं, उन पे हम वर्कआउट करेंगे। और उनमें से मेरे को श्योरली लगता है कुछ क्वेश्चन आपके एग्जाम में आएंगे, आप उनको कर लीजिएगा। सबसे पहले इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी के ऊपर, क्योंकि ये इंडस्ट्रियल इंजीनियरिंग का बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है, तो इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी में से क्वेश्चन वो आपसे पूछेगा और उसमें आएगा भी न्यूमेरिकल आने के चांस हैं। तो इकोनॉमिक, ये जो हमारे क्वेश्चंस जो मैंने रेड कलर से यहाँ मार्क कर रखे हैं, ये प्रीवियस ईयर्स के क्वेश्चंस हैं जो हम ऑलरेडी करवा चुके हैं, और उसके नीचे मैं आपको क्वेश्चन करवाऊंगा जो एक्सपेक्टेड है, जो इस बार आ सकते हैं। तो इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी में से आपका जो क्वेश्चंस प्रीवियस ईयर में पूछे गए वो ये हैं। अगर आपको इनको नोट करना होगा, वैसे वीडियो हमारा ऑलरेडी पब्लिश हो चुका है इसका, तो आप उसको देख भी सकते हैं। अब ये जो फॉर्मूला है आपका इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी का, इसमें से काफी क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते हैं। तो ये क्वेश्चन आपका यहां से आता है। सो these आर द अजम्पशन, जो इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी मॉडल का अजम्पशन है, वो इस अजम्पशन में से, ये these आर द अजम्पशन जो इस मॉडल के लिए हैं। अजम्पशन थोड़ी सी देख लेना आप, और अजम्पशन में से क्वेश्चन प्रीवियस ईयर में आया है, तो अजम्पशन के बेस पे क्वेश्चन बनने के आपके चांस होते हैं, जो नीचे मैं आपको करवाऊंगा। फिर आपका इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी में से प्रीवियस ईयर में आपके जो न्यूमेरिकल आए वो इसी फॉर्मूला बेस्ड न्यूमेरिकल है। तो ये तो फॉर्मूला वो आपको देगा, या उस फॉर्मूला में आपको कुछ वैल्यूज लगा के आपको सॉल्व करना है। होल्डिंग कॉस्ट और ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट क्या होती है इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी में, और इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी निकालते कैसे हैं, उसके ऊपर ये प्रीवियस ईयर के क्वेश्चंस आए हैं। ये सारे क्वेश्चन वो हैं जो पहले आपके HPCL में पूछे जा चुके हैं। हम इन क्वेश्चंस को ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं, मैंने आपको इसी फाइल में लगा दिए हैं फ्रेंड्स, सो दैट आपको पता लग जाए कि ये क्वेश्चन इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी के आए हैं। तो मैं आपको क्या करूंगा, मैं आपको प्रीवियस ईयर में जो क्वेश्चन आ चुके हैं वो क्वेश्चंस आपको लगा के, और फिर उसके बाद जो एक्सपेक्टेड क्वेश्चंस हैं वो डॉक्यूमेंट मैं आपको रिलीज करूंगा इसका, इसी व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे। तो आप इसको एक बार गो थ्रू कर लेना। अब जो एक्सपेक्टेड क्वेश्चन है वो करते हैं। देखो, इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी में वो आपको दे देगा इसी फॉर्मूला के बेस पे, कंजम्पशन देगा, कितना कंजम्पशन है ऑफ द यूनिट्स ड्यूरिंग एंटायर ईयर। कंजम्पशन को डिमांड भी बोलते हैं। तो या तो आपको कंजम्पशन या डिमांड पूरे साल की कितने यूनिट है वो आपको देता है, जो आपका फॉर्मूला में यूज होता है। उसके बाद ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट पर ऑर्डर जो आपका है वो कितनी है, एक ऑर्डर पे ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट कितनी है, वो भी आपका इस फॉर्मूला के अंदर है। एंड उसके बाद कितना आपका कैरिंग कॉस्ट है, इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट पर यूनिट पर ईयर इंक्लूडिंग वेरिएबल कॉस्ट। अब आप ये देखो कि जो ये टर्म है ना आपकी सी, कैरिंग कॉस्ट, उसको किस तरीके से निकाला जाता है वो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि कैरिंग कॉस्ट कैसे निकाली जाती है। इन्वेंट्री कैरिंग कॉस्ट इज 25% ऑफ इन्वेंट्री वैल्यू, और इन्वेंट्री वैल्यू आपने कैसे निकाली, 25% ऑफ इन्वेंट्री वैल्यू, तो वो आपकी है 12 रुपए पर यूनिट कंजम्पशन है। तो प्राइस ऑफ दिस इन बेसिकली 12 पर यूनिट कॉस्ट है। तो यूनिट कॉस्ट कितनी है, ₹12 है आपकी पर यूनिट, और उसका परसेंटेज अगर देखेंगे 25% आपकी कैरिंग कॉस्ट है। तो कैरिंग कॉस्ट हमेशा निकाली जाती है पर यूनिट पे। अगर जो प्रोडक्ट आप बना रहे हैं उसकी कॉस्ट आपकी 25 रुपया है या उसकी कॉस्ट आपकी 12 रुपया है, तो उसका 25% आपको कैरिंग कॉस्ट है। तो कैरिंग कॉस्ट को निकाला जाता है जो यूनिट कॉस्ट है उसके परसेंटेज के फॉर्म में। ये तीन ही टर्म्स आपकी आती है इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी में। तो यहाँ पे ए है एनुअल डिमांड जो 20,000 यूनिट है। उसके बाद ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट उसने ऑलरेडी आपको पर ऑर्डर दे रखा है ₹2,000। उसके बाद आपका जो कैरिंग कॉस्ट है पर यूनिट का कुछ परसेंटेज हम निकालते हैं। तो कैरिंग कॉस्ट हमने 25% और 12 निकाल लिया। जब ये सारी वैल्यूज आप इसमें डालोगे तो आपके पास आंसर इतनी वैल्यू आ जाएगा। सो ऐसा इस बेसिकली इस फॉर्मूला के बेस पे आपको क्वेश्चन इस तरीके से फ्रेम किया जा सकता है। जो आप प्रीवियस ईयर्स के क्वेश्चन देखोगे तो आपको पता लग जाएगा कि हम किस तरीके से उसको निकालते हैं। यहाँ पे उसने आपको दे ही दिया है कि कैरिंग कॉस्ट ₹2 है। वहां पे क्या दिया है कि अगर एक यूनिट आपका 12 रुपए का है तो उसका 25% होता है 1/4। 1/4 मींस 12 रुपए का 1/4 इज 3 रुपया। तो इस क्वेश्चन में उसने डायरेक्टली आपको दे दिया कैरिंग कॉस्ट ₹2 है, तो इस फॉर्मूला में आपने ₹2 लगा दिया। और इस क्वेश्चन में उसने दे दिया कि पर यूनिट आपका 12 रुपए है तो उसका 25% कैरिंग कॉस्ट है। सो 25% ऑफ कैरिंग कॉस्ट इज basically ₹3. So accordingly you used it as a ₹3. So this is the difference. I mean, he can give you directly the cost of the product or he can give you percentage in the percentage term. तो जैसे भी आपको देगा इस फॉर्मूला में आप लगा सकते हैं। सो दिस इज द फॉर्मूला जो अलग अलग वे में आप इसको याद कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पे DSH लिखा हुआ है, यहाँ पे उसने A O ओवर आपका C लिखा है। सो A is the annual demand or consumption, O is the ordering cost per order, C is the carrying cost per unit यूनिट टाइम। सो ये आपका फॉर्मूला अकॉर्डिंगली आ जाएगा। व्हाट इज द प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी? बेसिकली ऑप्टिमम ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी जहां टोटल ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट एंड होल्डिंग कॉस्ट आर मिनिमम। तो मैंने आपको बताया था पहले भी कि दो इसमें कॉस्ट होती है, एक ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट होती है, एक होल्डिंग कॉस्ट होती है। तो बेसिकली हम सारी की सारी टोटल इन्वेंट्री कॉस्ट को मिनिमम करना चाहते हैं। होल्डिंग कॉस्ट प्लस ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट दोनों को कंबाइन करेंगे तो टोटल कॉस्ट हम रिड्यूस करना चाहते हैं, मिनिमाइज करना चाहते हैं, एंड दैट इज द अल्टीमेट ऑब्जेक्टिव, टोटल कॉस्ट को रिड्यूस करना। ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट कैसे बिहेव करती है विद इंक्रीज इन ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी अकॉर्डिंग टू इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी थ्योरी? दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। सो ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट, ऑर्डरिंग क्वांटिटी, ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी जैसे जैसे आप इंक्रीज करोगे व्हाट विल हैपन टू ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट? सो एज ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी इंक्रीजेस, number of orders placed is less and hence ordering cost reduces. Listen carefully. जैसे से आप ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी को इंक्रीज करते हो, यू आर नॉट ऑर्डरिंग 50 थिंग्स एट अ गो, यू आर ऑर्डरिंग 100 आइटम्स। सो पर ऑर्डर 50 यूनिट्स और पर ऑर्डर 100 यूनिट्स। एज यू इंक्रीज द क्वांटिटी ऑर्डर्ड, एज यू इंक्रीज द क्वांटिटी ऑर्डर्ड, द ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट विल कीप ऑन डिक्रीजिंग बिकॉज नंबर ऑफ ऑर्डर्स इज लेस। इसलिए आपका जो कॉस्ट आती है वो आपकी पर ऑर्डर आती है कि हर ऑर्डर में आपको 2,000 रुपए लगेगा। तो अगर आप 5 बार ऑर्डर कर रहे हो तो आपको 10,000 रुपए लग जाएगा, वही अगर आप एक ही बार ऑर्डर कर रहे हो तो 2,000 रुपए लगेगा। तो ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट इज नॉट बेसिकली दैट वे डिपेंडेंट अपॉन द क्वांटिटी इन वन पर्टिकुलर ऑर्डर, बट अगर आप सारी की सारी क्वांटिटी को एक ही ऑर्डर में प्लेस कर देते हो, कितने क्वांटिटी है उस ऑर्डर के अंदर, ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट उस पर नहीं डिपेंड करता है, लेकिन कितनी बार ऑर्डर कर रहे हैं उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है। लिसन टू दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट केयरफुली। ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट इज एज पर द नंबर ऑफ ऑर्डर्स विच यू प्लेस। अब एक ऑर्डर में तुम कितना सामान मंगवा रहे हो या एक ऑर्डर में हाउ मेनी यूनिट्स यू आर ऑर्डरिंग, उसके ऊपर ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट बेसिकली डिपेंड नहीं करता। अगर आप सारी की सारी यूनिट्स को, सारी की सारी आइटम्स को एक बार ऑर्डर करके मंगवा लोगे तो एक ऑर्डर कॉस्ट लगेगा, लेकिन उन्हीं सारी आइटम्स को अगर आप 3 बार ऑर्डर करोगे तो 3 बार ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट लगेगा। तो ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट जो है वो इस पे डिपेंड करता है कि कितनी बार आपने ऑर्डर किया, वो इस पे डिपेंड नहीं करता कि आपके ऑर्डर में क्वांटिटी कितनी है। अब उसने क्वेश्चन ये पूछा that if I increase the number of quantities ordered per order, if I increase, so what is going to happen eventually? Number of orders is going to decrease, and if number of order is going to decrease, ordering cost is also going to decrease. So this question is market important for this year. This kind of question can be asked. As the order quantity increases, number of orders placed are less. Now economic order quantity hota kya hai? Basically we find out what is the frequency and what is the volume of orders. Right? Let's go for next question now. In the context of economic order quantity model, which of the following statement is most accurate regarding optimal order quantity? So optimum order quantity is achieved when ordering cost is minimized regardless of holding cost. These are the answer choices given. So this is the definition of economic order quantity. Inventory cost is minimum and ordering cost is equal to normally the holding cost. नॉर्मली ऐसा होता है. So when you see the how the formula is derived, तो वहां से आपको पता लगेगा that economic order quantity at which the inventory cost is minimum and ordering cost and holding cost are equal. Okay, so we go for computer science also, right? Economic order quantity model, no buffer inventory, right? Its annual cost of holding per unit has decreased. What is the effect, if any, of this decrease in holding cost on economic order quantity and on total annual cost of placing order? तो क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से पढ़ो. दिस इज लिटिल हायर डिग्री ऑफ डिफिकल्टी क्वेश्चन अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए. Annual cost of holding has decreased, holding cost has gone down. So अगर होल्डिंग कॉस्ट कम हो जाए तो क्या इंपैक्ट होगा ऑन कॉस्ट ऑफ प्लेसिंग ऑर्डर? इफ होल्डिंग कॉस्ट गोज डाउन, मोर आइटम्स कैन बी हेल्ड. अब देखो, अगर कैरिंग कॉस्ट और होल्डिंग कॉस्ट, अगर कैरिंग कॉस्ट और होल्डिंग कॉस्ट इज वन एंड द सेम थिंग, सो कैरिंग और होल्डिंग कॉस्ट आर सेम थिंग. इफ कैरिंग कॉस्ट और होल्डिंग कॉस्ट डिक्रीजेस, आई कैन होल्ड मोर क्वांटिटी. तो मैं ज्यादा क्वांटिटी को स्टेक बेसिकली स्टॉक कर सकता हूं. आई कैन कीप मोर आइटम्स इन माई इन्वेंट्री. If I can hold more items in my inventory, I can put more order. I can basically purchase more quantity per order, and number of orders will decrease. Number of orders eventually will decrease. So economic order quantity which I will order, the quantity which I will order obviously will increase, because now I can order more items. That is the meaning of it. So I can order more inventory at a time, and the orders will be fewer. Number of orders will be decreased. That is the meaning of it. Annual production is 1800 units. Procurement cost is rupees 450. Manufacturing cost is rupees 45. Inventory cost is 10% per item. Abhi understand this. Inventory cost is 10% per item. 10% of cost of item. तो जो मैं आइटम, द आइटम विच आई एम परचेजिंग, उसका एक कॉस्ट होगा. सो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट इज गिवन 45 रुपीज. सो मे बी 10% of 45 rupees is the carrying cost, annual units 1800, procurement or ordering cost is 450. So see this formula, friends. D is the annual demand 1800, CH whatever name you give, that is the carrying cost, that is 10% of rupees 45, and ordering cost CO is 450. So if you put all these values, so 10% of 45 is 4.5. That is how you have to calculate. So this formula is very very important, और यहां से एग्जाम में आपको क्वेश्चन आने के चांस है on the basis of this formula. So concept of economic order quantity is concerned with what? So this is concerned with technique of inventory control. तो economic order quantity is inventory control. Economic order quantity होती क्या है? Basically inventory management, जिसमें आप optimum order place करते हो, and so that total cost is minimum, holding cost and ordering cost is minimum. So it is a trade off between holding cost and carrying cost, sorry, holding cost and ordering cost. और यही दोनों cost minimum economic order quantity के ऊपर both the cost become equal. So what is the objective of economic order quantity? To minimize the quantity ordered, right? Which of the following situation will violate basic assumption of economic order quantity model? And that means assumption के ऊपर एक क्वेश्चन आने के चांस है. So assumption के ऊपर question can come. So economic order quantity assumes that holding and ordering cost are constant and are known, right? So holding cost or carrying cost and ordering cost remains same. Now what is the meaning of that? इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि आप सपोज यू ऑर्डर पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट क्वांटिटी, तो आपको ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट 2000 रुपीज पड़ा. नो नंबर ऑफ आइटम्स यू आर ऑर्डरिंग, अगर वो इंक्रीज हो जाए तो ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट स्टिल विल बी 2000, बट ऑब्वियसली अगर ज्यादा क्वांटिटी आप मंगवा रहे हो तो नंबर ऑफ ऑर्डर्स आपके रिड्यूस हो जाएंगे. तो ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट पर ऑर्डर इज कांस्टेंट इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ कि उस ऑर्डर में कितनी क्वांटिटी है, ये मीनिंग है इसका. तो वो आपकी कांस्टेंट रहती है, राइट? सो होल्डिंग एंड ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट चेंज नहीं होता, वो आप उसको कांस्टेंट रखते हो. दिस इज द अजम्पशन ऑफ इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी मॉडल. लीड टाइम इज फिक्स बट होल्डिंग कॉस्ट फ्लक्चुएट सीजनेबली. ये नहीं होता. बेसिकली जो होल्डिंग कॉस्ट है वो सीजन के साथ चेंज नहीं होता, जबकि लीड टाइम आपका जो है वो सीजन के साथ चेंज होता है. लीड टाइम चेंज होता है बिकॉज व्हेन द सीजन will come, demand will change, consumption will change, तो लीड टाइम चेंज हो जाएगा. कई बार ऐसा होता है लीड टाइम, जैसे आपने ऑर्डर प्लेस किया और कितनी देर में आपका ऑर्डर आ रहा है, उसके ऊपर भी डिपेंड करता है. सो डिमांड इज कांस्टेंट एंड प्रेडिक्टेबल, ये भी इसका अजम्पशन है. लीड टाइम फिक्स है, ये भी इसका अजम्पशन है. कॉस्ट अजम्पशन है. तो ये तीन अजम्पशंस को याद रखना. ये आपका इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी मॉडल जो आपने बनाया उसमें ये अजम्पशंस है कि आपका लीड टाइम भी फिक्स रहेगा, जितनी देर में आपने ऑर्डर प्लेस किया और कितनी देर में ऑर्डर आया वो आपका फिक्स रहेगा, उसको चेंज नहीं करते. होल्डिंग कॉस्ट, कैरिंग कॉस्ट भी आपका फिक्स रहता है. ये कुछ अजम्पशंस हैं इस मॉडल की, तभी ये फॉर्मूला आपका निकला है. इस फॉर्मूला के बेस पे आपको क्वेश्चन आ सकता है फ्रेंड्स कि अगर आपने ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट को डबल कर दिया तो इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी कितना टाइम्स हो जाएगा. ये फॉर्मूला देखो आप कि आपका ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट यहां पे एस है, टोटल डिमांड पर एनम इज डी, ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट यहां पे एस बोल दिया उसको. ये टर्म्स चेंज हो सकते हैं. दीज टर्म्स अंदर जो लिखे हुए हैं कुछ भी आपको दे सकता है, लेकिन फॉर्मूला के ऊपर फोकस करना. व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला? इस फॉर्मूला के बेस पे वो आपका अजम्पशन पे क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, फॉर्मूला पे क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी 2ds ओवर h. अब ये जो फैक्टर हैं कि डी भी डबल हो जाए, एच भी डबल हो जाए, तो इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी सेम रहेगा. इस फॉर्मूला के बेस पे आपका अलग अलग क्वेश्चन दे सकता है. व्हाट इज डी? टोटल डिमांड. व्हाट इज एस? दैट इज योर बेसिकली जो आपका दे रखा है यहाँ पे ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट. ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट इज एस एंड एच इज द होल्डिंग कॉस्ट. तो अगर आपका होल्डिंग कॉस्ट या कैरिंग कॉस्ट और डिमांड दोनों डबल हो रहे हैं तो आपका ओवरऑल इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी में चेंज नहीं आएगा। तो आप इन पैरामीटर्स को देख के बता सकते हैं। अगर डी भी डबल हो जाए, एस भी डबल हो जाए, तो इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी भी डबल हो जाएगी, बिकॉज 4 अंडर रूट इज 2। सो ऐसा इसके ऊपर एक क्वेश्चन बन सकता है और अजम्पशन के ऊपर क्वेश्चन बन सकता है। तो अजम्पशन और इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा तैयार करके जाना आप। तो ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट, होल्डिंग कॉस्ट, टोटल कॉस्ट, ये दो कॉस्ट है, इसका ट्रेड ऑफ करना होता है। ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट और होल्डिंग कॉस्ट दोनों का ट्रेड ऑफ होता है कि ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट बढ़ जाए तो होल्डिंग कॉस्ट कम हो जाएगी, समथिंग लाइक दैट। और इन दोनों में आता क्या है, व्हाट इज द ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट, व्हाट इज द होल्डिंग कॉस्ट, दैट यू शुड नो। और इन तीन टर्म्स में एनुअल डिमांड, ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट पर ऑर्डर, होल्डिंग कॉस्ट पर यूनिट टाइम, दिस आर द टर्म्स। ओके, सो पहला बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक जहां से पॉजिटिवली आपको क्वेश्चन आएगा वो इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी आएगा फ्रेंड्स। तो मैंने आपको इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी में बताया दैट अजम्पशंस आर इंपॉर्टेंट, होल्डिंग कॉस्ट रिमेन्स कांस्टेंट, ordering cost remains constant, so your lead time and all these things, these remain constant. So these are the terms which you have to understand, right? Can you see me? Am I audible? Am I audible, friends? Okay, you can't see me, right?
संदीप, मेरी सीट पे ना मल्टीप्लग लगा हुआ, बोलेंगे चल गया। मेरी सीट के नीचे एंटर का मल्टीप्लग लगा।
Okay, so now you can hear me and you can listen me, right? You can hear me and listen me, friends? Okay. ओके, सो पहला मैंने आपको करवाया इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी में से पार्ट, एंड नाउ पर्ट एंड सीपीएम। तो इंडस्ट्रियल इंजीनियरिंग में पर्ट एंड सीपीएम इज आल्सो वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। पर्ट एंड सीपीएम में वो नॉर्मली आपको जो प्रीवियस ईयर में क्वेश्चन आए वो ये हैं, मैं आपको प्रीवियस ईयर के क्वेश्चन भी दे रहा हूँ जो प्रीवियस ईयर में आए हैं। वो पर्ट एंड सीपीएम में पर्ट इज प्रोबेबिलिस्टिक मॉडल एंड सीपीएम इज डिटर्मिनिस्टिक मॉडल, इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन आए हैं। एंड सीपीएम में क्रिटिकल पाथ मेथड में ही गिव्स यू द एक्टिविटी टाइम जो सर्टेन होती है, और पर्ट में वो आपको 3 टाइम देता है, मोस्ट लाइकली टाइम, ऑप्टिमिस्टिक टाइम, पेसिमिस्टिक टाइम। उससे हमें टाइम एस्टिमेट एक्टिविटी का टाइम निकालना होता है। सो डिटर्मिनिस्टिक मॉडल, प्रोबेबिलिस्टिक मॉडल, उसके बेस पे आपको क्वेश्चन आता है। एंड ये जो फॉर्मूला है, हाउ यू विल कैलकुलेट द एक्सपेक्टेड टाइम ऑफ एन एक्टिविटी, दैट इज ऑप्टिमिस्टिक टाइम प्लस 4 टाइम्स द मोस्ट लाइकली टाइम प्लस पेसिमिस्टिक टाइम डिवाइडेड बाय 6 इस क्वेश्चन के ऊपर बेस्ड आपके क्वेश्चन आए हैं पर्ट और सीपीएम के ऊपर से प्रीवियस ईयर्स में। उसी तरीके से आपका जो क्वेश्चन आए हैं अभी तक, ये प्रीवियस ईयर के क्वेश्चन है एचपीसीएल के, ये हम ऑलरेडी लगा चुके हैं, लेकिन मैं आपको फिर भी दिखा रहा हूं इसको। और क्रिटिकल पाथ किसको बोलते हैं, व्हाट इज क्रिटिकल पाथ, वहां से भी प्रीवियस ईयर में क्वेश्चन पूछे गए हैं। और कुछ स्टेटमेंट्स, कौन सी स्टेटमेंट्स करेक्ट हैं। सो पर्ट जो है वो प्रोबेबिलिस्टिक है, सीपीएम डिटर्मिनिस्टिक है। पर्ट इवेंट बेस्ड है, सीपीएम एक्टिविटी बेस्ड है। ये आपका क्वेश्चंस आए हैं। अब एक्टिविटी जो है वो बीटा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन को फॉलो करती है, प्रोजेक्ट ड्यूरेशन जो है नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन को फॉलो करती है। ये भी प्रीवियस ईयर में क्वेश्चन आया था। तो ये पर्ट में जो प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ बीटा और नॉर्मल यूज होता है, पर्ट के अंदर ये दो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन यूज होते हैं, बीटा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एंड नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। एक्टिविटी इज बीटा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, प्रोजेक्ट इज नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, वो आपका यहां पे आता है। एंड देन ये आपका फॉर्मूला बेस जो न्यूमेरिकल आया था, जिसमें आपके एक्टिविटी टाइम, एक्सपेक्टेड टाइम निकालना था आपको, और फिर आपका वेरिएंस निकालना था। तो वेरिएंस का फॉर्मूला इज आल्सो पेसिमिस्टिक टाइम माइनस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक टाइम डिवाइडेड बाय 6 होल स्क्वायर, एंड स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन इज अंडर रूट ऑफ वेरिएंस। सो standard deviation is 1, variance is also 1, and this was the question which was asked. Now let's go for expected question. Slack and the critical path, उसके ऊपर statement, which of the following statement is correct related to slack and critical path. So let's see these statements. So slack किसको बोलते हैं, slack, activities with zero slack lie on critical path and must be completed on time. It's true. क्रिटिकल पाथ के ऊपर जो आपका स्लैक है एंड आपका फ्लोट दोनों जीरो होता है। स्लैक इवेंट के ऊपर होता है, फ्लोट आपका एक्टिविटीज के ऊपर होता है। क्रिटिकल पाथ इज द लॉन्गेस्ट पाथ एंड द शॉर्टेस्ट टाइम इन विच प्रोजेक्ट कैन बी कंप्लीटेड। और क्रिटिकल पाथ के ऊपर इफ देयर इज अ डिले, एंटायर प्रोजेक्ट इज डिलेड बाय द सेम same duration. So slack on the event on critical path और float on the activities on critical path दोनों ही जीरो होता है क्रिटिकल पाथ के ऊपर। स्लैक एंड फ्लोट बोथ आर जीरो, देयर इज नो स्कोप ऑफ एनी काइंड ऑफ डिले। सो इन क्रिटिकल पाथ इज बेसिकली you are to any delay of any task on critical path will result in delay in overall project completion time. That is true. Slack is amount of time by which task can be delayed without affecting overall project completion time, उसको slack बोलते हैं। Now suppose I give you one answer choice that if float, यहां पे वो float को slack भी बोल दे रहा है, if float of an activity is zero, if float on an activity is zero, does that mean that activity is on critical path? Answer is yes or maybe no. क्योंकि अगर किसी कोई एक्टिविटी क्रिटिकल पाथ पे है तो उस पे स्लैक और फ्लोट जीरो होता है, लेकिन अगर कहीं पे स्लैक और फ्लोट जीरो है, ये पक्का नहीं है कि वो क्रिटिकल पाथ पे होगी। रिमेंबर दिस केयरफुली। इफ देयर इज एक्टिविटी ऑन क्रिटिकल पाथ तो उसके ऊपर स्लैक और फ्लोट जीरो होगा, लेकिन अगर किसी पाथ के ऊपर फ्लोट जीरो है, डज नॉट मीन इट इज ऑन द क्रिटिकल पाथ। हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता है। So that you need to see carefully, right? Okay, which of the following correctly distinguishes between PERT and CPM? इन दोनों के बीच डिफरेंस क्या है? Right? So what is the difference between PERT and CPM? Answer is now PERT incorporate, that is it is not deterministic, it is probabilistic. Activities times are not precisely known in PERT, but CPM is fixed and known duration. So CPM is deterministic in nature, PERT is not. So PERT is probabilistic and used for uncertain activities. CPM is deterministic with fixed duration. That is the answer for this. So critical path method, PERT, probabilistic, model, deterministic model. These things should be clear to you. Okay, let's go for this numerical now. So this time you may get numerical like this. आपको optimistic time, pessimistic time, most likely time दे दिया गया. Optimistic time is 7, pessimistic time is 13, most likely time is 10, and you have to calculate what is the standard deviation and variance. तो standard deviation and variance कैसे निकालेंगे आप, right? So standard deviation is pessimistic time minus optimistic time divided by 6. Expected time is calculated like this, so that is 10 days. So these are the formulas जिसके बेस पे numerical पहले भी आया हुआ है. In PERT analysis, which of the following correctly describes the pessimistic time estimate? Pessimistic time estimate को कैसे डिफाइन करते हैं आप? देखो मैंने आपको एक वीडियो बताया था मैंने आपको कि लॉन्गेस्ट जो आंसर होता है केवल करेक्ट आंसर होता है. ये चीज आप रख के जाना इस बार भी, क्योंकि लॉन्ग स्टेटमेंट की प्रोबेबिलिटी होती है, तो जो आप पढ़ोगे थोड़ा सा देख के जाना उसको. लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम रिक्वायर्ड टू कंप्लीट एक्टिविटी अंडर अनफेवरेबल कंडीशन. तो पेसिमिस्टिक मींस अनफेवरेबल कंडीशन, पेसिमिस्टिक टाइम, और ये लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम होता है. सो पेसिमिस्टिक टाइम इज द लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम, and when nothing goes okay, everything is unfavorable. Optimistic time is shortest time when everything goes exceptionally well. Most likely is when everything is going normally, the things are normal, there is a normal time. Okay, probability distribution to represent completion time of project as per PERT analysis is what? So project के लिए it's a normal distribution, and for activity it is beta distribution. Activity is beta distribution and project is normal distribution in PERT. So we are doing the most important question, friends. अब इसमें एक इंफॉर्मेशन, activity duration are skewed toward high or low end of beta range. Activity is a beta distribution. So यहां पे आपके पास ये बीटा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है, दिस इज नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. सो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? बीटा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, ये स्क्यूड होती है. तो पर्ट में एक्टिविटी बीटा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन फॉलो करती है, and it is skewed toward right, and if the work is late it stays late. Okay, which of the following statement does not represent characteristic of PERT technique? PERT is not activity oriented technique, it is event oriented technique. CPM is activity oriented, PERT is event oriented. R&D work you will go for PERT. PERT is used for uncertain activities. So PERT focuses on events and CPM focuses on activities. So you can expect these some questions from PERT and CPM related to this. Construction projects will go for CPM, R&D projects will go for PERT. Because construction projects are more determined, उसमें time duration is basically known. So CPM is used for those projects जिनमें time is determined, time is we are aware about the timings, हमें पता है टाइमिंग्स कितना है, तो उसके लिए हम CPM को यूज करते हैं. Okay, so this question is also expected, this numerical. PERT network में there are 9 activities and standard deviation of each activity on critical path is 3. तो critical path का standard deviation कितना होगा? So we are given sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3, every sigma, 9 activities are there, every activity is having sigma as 3. तो पूरे path का sigma या standard deviation कितना होगा? अब इसमें कंसेप्ट ये है फ्रेंड्स कि आप सिग्मा को जोड़ते नहीं हो, आप वेरिएंस को जोड़ते हो. अगर सिग्मा 3 है तो वेरिएंस 9 है, 9 प्लस 9 प्लस 9 प्लस 9, तो 9 टाइम्स 9 आपको करना है. तो वेरिएंस कितना हो गया आपके पास? वेरिएंस हो गया 9, सॉरी वेरिएंस आपके पास हो गया 81. तो स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन इज 9. सो इफ on the critical path there are 9 activities, every activity is having standard deviation of 3, तो आपके पूरे क्रिटिकल पाथ का स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन कितना होगा? कंसेप्ट क्या है? आपको वेरिएंस को ऐड करना है एंड स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन इज नॉट एडेड, वेरिएंस इज एडेड. सो क्रिटिकल पाथ पे लिसन दिस केयरफुली. सपोज आई एम गिविंग यू क्रिटिकल पाथ. लेट्स से दिस इज अ क्रिटिकल पाथ and activity A, B, C, D are on critical path. I am giving variance sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3, sigma 4 is the standard deviation of each activity on critical path. तो पूरे critical path का standard deviation कितना होगा? sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square plus sigma 3 square plus sigma 4 square under root. How I did that? V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus V4 is the V of critical path. And what is V? Is sigma 1 square. What is V? Variance. तो variance is standard deviation square. तो मेरे को critical path पे variance को add करना है. तो variance of critical path is summation of variance of each activity on critical path. तो ऐसे मैं add करता चला जाऊंगा and then we'll calculate it. So which of the following statements correctly differentiates PERT from CPM? PERT is probabilistic analysis based upon 3 time estimates. CPM is deterministic single time estimate. Difference between PERT and CPM, which you have done already. ये probabilistic है, ये deterministic है. 3 time estimate, 1 time estimate, event oriented, activity oriented, slack, float concept is used. Slack because event, देखो slack जो है event पे निकाला जाता है, float जो है activity पे निकाला जाता है. इसमें प्रोजेक्ट को क्रैश नहीं किया जाता, नॉट पॉसिबल. दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो ये 2-3 टर्म्स को याद कर लेना जो डिफरेंस है PERT और CPM में. Purpose of today's class is to tell you from where the most important question can come. Okay, so pessimistic, optimistic time of completion are given. Variance बताओ कितना होगा? What will be variance? So how do you calculate the variance? This is a formula. Pessimistic time minus optimistic time divided by 6 whole square is variance. ये फॉर्मूला याद कर लेना फ्रेंड्स, इसमें से क्वेश्चन आने के चांस हैं. Right? So Expected time is calculated using this formula, variance is calculated using this formula, and standard deviation is under root of variance. How do you define total float? Total float is the time by which activity can be delayed without affecting project completion time. Total float अगर positive है, what is the meaning of that? Total float अगर negative है, what is the meaning of that? And zero है, what is the meaning of that? Total float positive means the resources are additional. मतलब आपके पास ज्यादा टाइम है, ज्यादा रिसोर्स हैं. Resources are just sufficient. Negative means not sufficient, and maybe activity cannot be completed. How do you calculate total float? Latest start time minus earliest start time. Earliest start time. So total float is basically the time by which activity can be delayed without affecting project completion time. अगर आप इससे ज्यादा डिले करोगे, then obviously there is going to be delay of the project completion time. Right? टोटल फ्लोट निकालते कैसे मैं आपको बता रहा हूं. सपोज दिस इज द एक्टिविटी नोड 1 टू नोड 2, टाइम ऑफ एक्टिविटी Tij. So this is, earliest start, latest finish time, earliest start time, Ei, Li, Ej, Lj. This is I, this is, let us say, J. I event, J event. Earliest start time of activity A is Ei. Latest finish time of activity A is Lj. So total float is Lj, J is this, minus Ei, Ei is this, minus Tij. That is total float. And total float is the time by which I can delay the activity without affecting the project completion time. फ्री फ्लोट कैसे डिफाइन करते हैं? द टाइम बाय विच एन एक्टिविटी कैन बी डिलेड विदाउट अफेक्टिंग द स्टार्ट ऑफ सक्सीडिंग एक्टिविटी. सो फ्री फ्लोट इज दैट पोर्शन ऑफ टोटल फ्लोट which allows delay without affecting the succeeding activity. तो free float is a part of total float जो succeeding activity को इफेक्ट नहीं करता. इसकी पीडीएफ पूरे के पूरे की पीडीएफ मैं आपको व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे शेयर कर दूंगा. जो आपका व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप जिस पे आप जुड़े हैं, दिस पीडीएफ कैन बी शेयर्ड देयर. Okay, so how do you calculate the free float? Free float is calculated as Ei, Li, Ej, Lj, Tij. So free float is equal to total float minus Lj minus Ej. इसका डिफरेंस हेड इवेंट इज दिस इज कॉल्ड हेड इवेंट. तो टोटल फ्लोट में से मैंने इसको माइनस कर दिया तो मेरे पास आ गया फ्री फ्लोट. तो फ्लोट में से भी PERT CPM में से क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में से आ सकता है, फ्लोट में से आ सकता है. और इंडिपेंडेंट फ्लोट क्या होता है? फ्री फ्लोट माइनस टेल इवेंट स्लैक. अब क्या है, कैसे निकालोगे इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट? अगेन लेट मी गिव यू, लेट्स से दिस इज I, दिस इज J, टाइम इज Tij. तो Ei, Li, Ej, Lj. तो व्हाट इज इंडिपेंडेंट फ्लोट? फ्री फ्लोट माइनस Li माइनस Ei. इन दोनों का डिफरेंस इसमें से माइनस कर दो. Okay, now third part from where question can be asked is forecasting. So moving average method, exponential method, ये कुछ टॉपिक्स हैं जहां से आपको क्वेश्चन आ सकता है फोरकास्टिंग में. मूविंग एवरेज is not correct, as each new observation becomes available, a new mean is computed by adding the newest values, dropping the oldest value. बिल्कुल सही बात है. Number of data points in each average changes as time passes. नहीं, वो भी गलत है. ये पुराने क्वेश्चन हैं जो आए हुए हैं. तो these are old questions which are asked and I will share it with you. ये हम ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. I have already discussed with you previous year question of HPCL जो यहां से पूछे हैं. That will give you an idea कि क्वेश्चन कहां से फ्रेम किए जा सकते हैं. Why smoothing is important? Smoothing किया जाता है. Primary purpose of using moving average method in forecasting. फिर which of the following forecasting method is used to form weighted average of past observation to smooth the short term fluctuations? So exponential weighted moving average method क्या करता है? शॉर्ट टर्म फ्लक्चुएशन को स्मूथ आउट कर देता है. शॉर्ट टर्म फ्लक्चुएशंस आर स्मूथ आउट. So these are the smoothing effect on short term fluctuations. This is done. So now this smoothing technique is to remove the noise or short term fluctuation. ये भी क्वेश्चन प्रीवियस ईयर आया हुआ है. Now this is the formula which we use to calculate exponential weighted moving average concept. Performance of forecasting model, which of the following is not typically used? So बाकी सारे मेथड हम यूज करते हैं. मीन एब्सोल्यूट एरर मेथड, क्रॉस कोरिलेशन मेथड is not used in that. Previous year question we have already discussed this, friends. I expect मीन एब्सोल्यूट एरर में से क्वेश्चन आपका पूछा जा सकता है. परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ फोरकास्टिंग मॉडल के लिए मीन एब्सोल्यूट एरर मेथड कैसे निकालते हैं? एक्चुअल माइनस फोरकास्टेड, इसका एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यूज प्लस माइनस को आप प्लस लेंगे एंड देन उसका मीन लेना है. तो ये मीन एब्सोल्यूट एरर ऐसे निकाला जाता है. ये हमने डिस्कस किया था. रूट मीन स्क्वायर एरर, दिस वी हैव डिस्कस्ड. प्राइमरी पर्पस ऑफ यूजिंग मूविंग एवरेज मेथड, दिस प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन वी हैव डिस्कस्ड. राइट, सो दीज आर द प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस, ऑल क्वेश्चंस. फिर इस फॉर्मूला के बेस पे फोरकास्टिंग फॉर टाइम टी, स्मूथिंग कोफिशिएंट अल्फा, एक्चुअल वैल्यू माइनस फोरकास्टेड वैल्यू, ये फॉर्मूला के ऊपर बेस्ड आपका न्यूमेरिकल आया था कि आप किसी पर्टिकुलर टाइम ड्यूरेशन t+1 के लिए हाउ यू विल कैलकुलेट, हाउ यू विल डू द फोरकास्टिंग फॉर t+1 टाइम. सो फोरकास्टिंग फॉर t प्लस एक्चुअल माइनस फोरकास्ट वैल्यू. Now let's go for the expected questions. Actual demand is 600 unit in January, 700 in Feb. Forecast value of January 500. What will be forecast for month of March? Smoothing coefficient is 0.8. तो फॉर्मूला ये है फ्रेंड्स, क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से देख लो. द फॉर्मूला इज दिस. मेरे को फोरकास्टिंग मार्च के लिए निकालनी है और आई एम टू कैलकुलेट फोरकास्ट फॉर मार्च. अब मेरे को फेब का, सो जनवरी और फेब की वैल्यू मेरे को रिक्वायर्ड है. तो कैसे हम इसको निकालेंगे? ध्यान से देखना न्यूमेरिकल को. T-1 actual demand, A T-1 actual demand of previous period, forecast demand of previous period. सबसे पहले मार्च को निकालने से पहले मेरे को फरवरी का निकालना पड़ेगा। तो ध्यान से देखना, फोरकास्ट वैल्यू ऑफ फरवरी अगर मेरे को निकालनी है तो मेरे को एक्चुअल वैल्यू ऑफ फरवरी प्लस 1 माइनस अल्फा फोरकास्ट वैल्यू ऑफ फरवरी, तो जनवरी सॉरी, तो मेरे को ये दोनों वैल्यू जनवरी के लिए, फोरकास्ट वैल्यू ऑफ फेब, मेरे पास उसने फोरकास्ट वैल्यू ऑफ जनवरी दे रखा है, फोरकास्ट वैल्यू ऑफ फेब मेरे को कैसे निकालनी है, इस फॉर्मूला से निकालनी है। तो फोरकास्ट वैल्यू ऑफ फेब इज इक्वल टू अल्फा एक्चुअल वैल्यू ऑफ जनवरी प्लस 1 माइनस अल्फा फोरकास्ट वैल्यू ऑफ जनवरी। अब मेरे पास एक्चुअल वैल्यू ऑफ जनवरी इज 600 एंड फोरकास्ट वैल्यू ऑफ जनवरी इज 500 मेरे पास दे रखा है। तो अल्फा इज 0.8 इंटू 600, 0.2 इंटू 500, तो फोरकास्ट वैल्यू फरवरी की पता लग गई। ये फॉर्मूला बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है फ्रेंड्स, मेरे को लगता है इस फॉर्मूला के बेस पे क्वेश्चन आएगा। तो ये फॉर्मूला क्या बता रहा है कि फोरकास्ट वैल्यू फॉर टाइम ड्यूरेशन टी इज इक्वल टू अल्फा, स्मूथिंग कोफिशिएंट है अल्फा जो फ्लक्चुएशन को स्मूथ आउट करता है, इनटू एक्चुअल वैल्यू ऑफ प्रीवियस पीरियड प्लस 1 माइनस अल्फा फोरकास्ट वैल्यू ऑफ प्रीवियस पीरियड। बहुत ही अच्छा क्वेश्चन है, इस क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से देखो एंड आपको पता लग जाएगा कैसे निकालना है। तो फोरकास्ट वैल्यू फरवरी की अगर पता लग गई, फिर मैं फोरकास्ट वैल्यू ऑफ फरवरी को यहां पे लगाऊंगा और मार्च की निकालूंगा, ऐसे मैं निकाल सकता हूं, राइट। तो ये क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से देखो, स्क्रीन रोक के पहले इसको पढ़ो क्वेश्चन को, फिर ये फॉर्मूला के बेस पे इसको आंसर आप करना। तो पहले हमारे पास जनवरी का एक्चुअल और फोरकास्ट वैल्यू दे रखा है और फरवरी का हमारे पास एक्चुअल वैल्यू दे रखा है, तो फोरकास्ट फरवरी का निकल जाएगा और फिर मार्च का हमारे पास फोरकास्ट निकल जाएगा, क्योंकि फरवरी का अब हमारे पास दोनों वैल्यूज आ गया। ओके, नेक्स्ट चलते हैं। पिछले 4 साल का जो प्रोडक्ट सेल है वो वैल्यू दे दिया और फोरकास्ट फॉर 4th ईयर इज ऑल्सो गिवन। अगर फोरकास्ट 5th ईयर का सिंपल एक्सपोनेंशियल स्मूथिंग से निकालना हो, व्हाट विल बी द वैल्यू ऑफ एक्सपोनेंशियल स्मूथिंग। तो इसने दो मॉडल को कंपेयर किया है, एक सिंपल एक्सपोनेंशियल स्मूथिंग को 3 पीरियड मूविंग एवरेज के साथ एक्सपोनेंशियल स्मूथिंग को कंपेयर किया है, 3 पीरियड मूविंग को एक्सपोनेंशियल स्मूथिंग के साथ। हमारे पास 4 साल का डेटा दे रखा है, तो हमारे पास 3 पीरियड मूविंग एवरेज ये बोलता है कि हम ये 3 प्रीवियस ईयर की वैल्यू को लेके 860, 850, 870 डिवाइड बाय 3, ये मेरे पास फोरकास्ट आ जाएगा नेक्स्ट के लिए। तो इनका एवरेज लेके मेरे पास फोरकास्ट आ गया नेक्स्ट वैल्यू जो इतना है 860। अब 860 फोरकास्ट वैल्यू मैं इसके थ्रू भी निकालता हूं, मैं इसके थ्रू भी फोरकास्टिंग निकालता हूं। तो अगर मेरे को अगले पीरियड का चाहिए तो मैं वैल्यू निकालूंगा पिछले वैल्यू की, मैं 870 को लूंगा कि अगर मेरे को नेक्स्ट पीरियड के लिए कैलकुलेट करना है तो उससे प्रीवियस 870 मेरे पास क्या आ गया, एक्चुअल सेल, और ये जो है फोरकास्ट सेल। तो एक्चुअल वैल्यू ये है, फोरकास्ट वैल्यू ये है, और नेक्स्ट निकल जाएगी क्योंकि हमारे पास ये फॉर्मूला होता है। तो मेरे पास फोरकास्ट एक्चुअल वैल्यू ऑफ 4th पीरियड इज दिस, फोरकास्ट ऑफ 4th इज दिस, 5th की निकालना है तो अल्फा इंटू A4 प्लस 1 माइनस अल्फा इंटू F4। ये F4 भी दे रखा है, A4 भी दे रखा है, F5 इसके बराबर है, अल्फा निकल जाएगा। तो यहां से आपको मूविंग एवरेज और एक्सपोनेंशियल स्मूथिंग का आपको आइडिया लग जाएगा। व्हाट इज मूविंग एवरेज, व्हाट इज एक्सपोनेंशियल स्मूथिंग, यहां से आपको आइडिया लग जाएगा। तो इस क्वेश्चन को भी देख लेना ध्यान से, इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन। सो द फॉर्मूला यू आर ऑलरेडी डूइंग. मेरे को लगता है इस फॉर्मूला के बेस पे फ्रेंड्स क्वेश्चन आएंगे. आई थिंक दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. So you can see that recent data is given more weightage compared to previous data. Higher the value of alpha, recent values are given more weightage. If alpha is equal to 1, this term is 0. Ft is equal to dt minus 1, means the forecast value of next year is the actual value of this year if smoothing constant is 1. That means if alpha is more, तो आप recent value को बहुत ज्यादा वेटेज देते हो, recent data को बहुत वेटेज देते हो आप अगर अल्फा आपका ज्यादा है. If alpha is more, you give lot of weightage to the recent data. Again the same question friends. आपके पास actual sale is given 120, alpha is given. आपको फाइंड आउट करना है जनवरी की सेल बाय 20 यूनिट्स अंडर एस्टिमेट. आपने 100 सोची थी और आपकी 120 आई. यू थॉट ऑफ 100 and it was 120. Alpha is given to you, so you can use all these values and you can calculate it, right? So if you put the values, forecast for t, alpha is 0.2. What is the actual of previous? Actual sale was 120 और आपने फोरकास्ट कितनी की थी 100. तो कितना आ गया ये 24 प्लस 80 104. तो इस फॉर्मूला के बेस पे क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड, इट कैन बी फ्रेम्ड. हायर द वैल्यू ऑफ अल्फा, unstable demand. When the demand is not reliable, unstable है, alpha is given higher value, and there is a relation between alpha and number of periods of moving average. ये फॉर्मूला भी याद रख लेना. अल्फा इज 2 डिवाइड बाई n प्लस 1. अल्फा अगर 0 हो गया, दैट मीन्स द राइट. सो दिस इज हायर वैल्यू ऑफ अल्फा मीन्स आप बहुत ज्यादा वेटेज दे रहे हो जो इमीडिएट प्रीवियस आपका डाटा है उसको, प्रीवियस डाटा को आप ज्यादा वेटेज देते हो अगर अल्फा आपका ज्यादा है. ओके फ्रेंड्स, नेक्स्ट आपका लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग असाइनमेंट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन वगैरह से जो क्वेश्चन आते हैं, ये आपके प्रीवियस ईयर में जो असाइनमेंट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन से क्वेश्चन आए हैं, ये हमने ऑलरेडी इसको डिस्कस किया है क्लास में, लेकिन मैं आपको क्वेश्चन एक बार दिखाता हूं जो प्रीवियस ईयर में आए हैं। स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म ऑफ लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग प्रॉब्लम पूछ लेगा, तो क्या उसका स्टैंडर्ड ऑब्जेक्टिव फंक्शन होता है, कंस्ट्रेंट्स होते हैं, नॉन नेगेटिविटी रिस्ट्रिक्शंस होती हैं, ये हमने पहले डिस्कस किया था। ये स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म है आपका लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग प्रॉब्लम का, जिसमें ऑब्जेक्टिव फंक्शन है, इक्वालिटी कंस्ट्रेंट्स, इनइक्वालिटी कंस्ट्रेंट्स, नॉन नेगेटिविटी। असाइनमेंट एंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में से, सो आई एडवाइज यू टू गो थ्रू द डिटेल मैराथन वीडियो जो हमने प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस पे बनाया है, इसको आप गो थ्रू कर लीजिएगा। टू फेज मेथड, फेज 1 फेज 2 क्या है, उसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन, स्लैक वेरिएबल इन लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग प्रॉब्लम उसमें से आया था, लीस्ट कॉस्ट मेथड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन प्रॉब्लम उसमें से क्वेश्चन जो प्रीवियस ईयर में पूछे गए थे, और बिग एम मेथड पर्पस ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल वेरिएबल्स, ये क्वेश्चन प्रीवियस ईयर्स में आए हैं आपके। लिमिटेशन ऑफ ट्रेडिशनल असाइनमेंट मॉडल। अब एक्सपेक्टेड क्वेश्चन, वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन, जैसे लीस्ट कॉस्ट मेथड में से क्वेश्चन आया था, मेरे को लगता है वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन में से भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है। वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में यूज होता है। ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की प्रॉब्लम में ये एक एल्गोरिथम है जो इनिशियल फिजिबल सॉल्यूशन निकालने के लिए यूज किया जाता है। इसमें पेनल्टी वैल्यूज को यूज किया जाता है, अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट यूज किया जाता है। सो अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट या पेनल्टी मेथड इज यूज्ड इन वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन। वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन क्या है? ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की प्रॉब्लम में हम इनिशियल बेसिक फिजिबल सॉल्यूशन को निकालने के लिए, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में हम वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन मेथड को यूज करते हैं। पेनल्टी वैल्यू कैसे निकाली जाती है? डिफरेंस बिटवीन स्मॉलेस्ट एंड सेकंड स्मॉलेस्ट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट। अगर आप ट्रांसपोर्टेशन मॉडल करेंगे, उसमें जब हम एलोकेट करते हैं ट्रांसपोर्टेशन मॉडल में, तो हम सबसे कम कॉस्ट वाले सेल पे एलोकेशन करते हैं। उस सेल में और नेक्स्ट हाईएस्ट वैल्यू के बीच का जो डिफरेंस है, दैट इज कॉल्ड अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट, एंड अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट इज यूज्ड इन वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन मेथड। Difference between smallest and second smallest transportation cost, that is used as basically penalty value or opportunity cost. इसको penalty बोलो या opportunity cost बोलो, penalty or opportunity cost, any of these two can be used. So दो lowest cost each row और each column में identify की जाती हैं, and then this is how we calculate it. तो है क्या वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन मेथड में? व्हाट आर द स्टेप्स? वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन इस साल के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है फ्रेंड्स। एंड व्हाट आर द स्टेप्स? पेनल्टी कैलकुलेशन, मैक्सिमम पेनल्टी कैलकुलेट करना, रिसोर्स एलोकेट करना, मैट्रिक्स को अपडेट करना, और फिर उसको सारे प्रोसेस को रिपीट करना। ये वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन मेथड है। So penalty is basically difference between the smallest and second smallest transportation cost. एंड देन वी कैलकुलेट हाईएस्ट पेनल्टी वैल्यू एंड इसमें हम एलोकेशन कर देते हैं। राइट, दिस इज हाउ इट गोज। allocate maximum possible supply to least cost cell। हम ऐसे रो या कॉलम को आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं जिसमें हाईएस्ट पेनल्टी हमें मिल गया और फिर उसमें मैक्सिमम एलोकेशन कर देते हैं। यू नो व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन। देखो मैं वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन मेथड यहां आपको करवा तो नहीं सकता, आज की क्लास वो नहीं है कि मैं आपको वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन कराऊं, लेकिन ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में वोगल अप्रोक्सीमेशन में से क्वेश्चन आ सकता है आपको ऐसा। ग्राफिकल मेथड, सिंप्लेक्स मेथड एंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन मेथड, तीनों में लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग है। जब हमारे पास लिमिटेड रिसोर्स हैं और हमें उनको एलोकेशन करना है तो लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग मेथड को हम यूज करते हैं। एक ग्राफिकल मेथड होता है, एक सिंप्लेक्स मेथड होता है लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग में। सो आपका सिंप्लेक्स, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन एंड ग्राफिकल मेथड तीनों में लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग यूज होता है। What is the meaning of feasible region in graphical method? अगर सारी कंस्ट्रेंट्स आपकी सेटिस्फाई हो रही हैं तो आपको फिजिबल रीजन मिल जाता है और ऑप्टिमम सॉल्यूशन फिजिबल रीजन पे ही मिलता है आपको। अगर ग्राफिकल मेथड आप यूज कर रहे हैं, आपके पास कंस्ट्रेंट्स होंगी, नॉन नेगेटिविटी कंस्ट्रेंट्स, तो आपके पास एक शेडेड फिजिबल रीजन मिलता है ग्राफिकल मेथड में और सॉल्यूशन वहीं पे मिलेगा। आपको इसी शेडेड रीजन के कॉर्नर्स वगैरह पे सॉल्यूशन मिलेगा। और अगर आपका सॉल्यूशन इस पॉइंट पे और इस पॉइंट पे सेम है तो मे बी मल्टीपल सॉल्यूशन आपके पास मिल जाए। सिंप्लेक्स मेथड में क्या एडवांटेज है? तो लार्ज नंबर ऑफ वेरिएबल्स। ग्राफिकल मेथड ओनली 2 वेरिएबल्स। यू नो ग्राफिकल और सिंप्लेक्स में क्या डिफरेंस है, दैट यू नो। प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है ट्रांसपोर्टेशन मेथड का? तो हमें सप्लाई और डिमांड को सेटिस्फाई करना है सो दैट टोटल ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इज मिनिमम। So that all supply and demand constraints are satisfied. Non-degenerate बेसिक फिजिबल सॉल्यूशन M क्रॉस N ट्रांसपोर्टेशन मॉडल में नॉन डीजेनरेट कब बोला जाएगा? When exactly M plus N minus 1 number of individual allocations in independent positions जब होगा, ये उसका कंडीशन है। M plus N minus 1 allocations in independent position। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। नॉन डीजेनरेट बेसिक फिजिबल सॉल्यूशन कब मिलता है? वेरिएबल किसको बोलते हैं इन प्रोग्रामिंग? स्टोरेज लोकेशन आइडेंटिफाइड बाय अ नेम। ये बेसिकली एक सिंबॉलिक आइडेंटिफायर होता है जो मेमोरी एड्रेस के साथ एसोसिएटेड होता है। एक कांस्टेंट एक वेरिएबल है। कांस्टेंट की वैल्यू आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते, वेरिएबल की वैल्यू चेंज कर सकते हैं। जब आप प्रोग्राम को एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं तो वैल्यू चेंज होती है। अब ये कंप्यूटर से रिलेटेड भी है, आपका प्रोग्रामिंग से रिलेटेड भी है। स्लैक वेरिएबल, जब कंस्ट्रेंट में आपका कोई वैल्यू ऐड किया जाता है, लेस देन इक्वल टू होता है, तो स्लैक वेरिएबल होता है। और फ्रेंड्स, ये जो चारों वेरिएबल्स हैं इनका याद कर लेना। स्लैक वेरिएबल, सरप्लस वेरिएबल, एट्रिशियल वेरिएबल, तीनों का क्या सिग्निफिकेंस है। जब लेस देन इक्वल टू सिचुएशन होती है तो स्लैक वेरिएबल ऐड किया जाता है। जब ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू सिचुएशन होती है तो सरप्लस वेरिएबल ऐड किया जाता है। जब आपका इक्वल टू और ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू की सिचुएशन होती है तो इनिशियल बेसिक फिजिबल सॉल्यूशन के लिए हम आर्टिफिशियल वेरिएबल ऐड करते हैं, ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू एंड इक्वल टू। सरप्लस वेरिएबल, अगर ये लेस देन इक्वल टू हो तो प्लस S1 होगा, और अगर ये ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू तो माइनस S1 S2 होगा। और आर्टिफिशियल वेरिएबल कब ऐड किए जाते हैं, जब इक्वल भी साइन आता है। तो ये तीनों लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग प्रॉब्लम के पॉइंट्स हैं। बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन। 4 सप्लाई पॉइंट, 5 डिमांड पॉइंट हैं, तो कंस्ट्रेंट्स कितनी चाहिए, m प्लस n माइनस वन, m प्लस n माइनस वन। तो ये आप सप्लाई एंड डिमांड पोजीशन अगर हमें दे रखे पॉइंट्स, तो नंबर ऑफ कंस्ट्रेंट्स m प्लस n, नंबर ऑफ वेरिएबल्स m इंटू n, नंबर ऑफ इक्वेशन m प्लस n माइनस वन। तो कंस्ट्रेंट्स हो जाएंगी m प्लस n। पता नहीं आपने किया है क्वेश्चन की नहीं किया, लेकिन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। अगर हमारे पास डिमांड एंड सप्लाई पॉइंट दे रखे हैं तो टोटल नंबर ऑफ कंस्ट्रेंट्स इज m प्लस n, नंबर ऑफ वेरिएबल्स m इंटू n, नंबर ऑफ इक्वेशन m प्लस n माइनस वन। m प्लस n माइनस वन। तो बेसिक वेरिएबल्स m प्लस n माइनस वन होंगे। तो अगर ऑल एंट्रीज आर नेगेटिव और जीरो व्हेन यू आर फाइंडिंग द लिविंग वेरिएबल, देन यू गेट अनबाउंडेड सॉल्यूशन। ये कुछ आपके सेट ऑफ वेरिएबल्स हैं फ्रेंड्स सिंप्लेक्स में। आर्टिफिशियल वेरिएबल कब इंट्रोड्यूस किए जाते हैं, इक्वल टू टाइप ऑफ कंस्ट्रेंट्स, ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल टू अगर कंस्ट्रेंट्स है तो। select variable less than equal to, non basic variable in simplex method, non basic variable in simplex method will have zero value in the solution. Very important information. ऑप्टिमम सॉल्यूशन, अनबाउंड सॉल्यूशन, इनफिजिबल सॉल्यूशन, डीजेनरेट सॉल्यूशन का पता सिंप्लेक्स टेबल से कैसे चलता है। तो आपको सिंप्लेक्स टेबल देख के कैसे पता लगेगा दैट सॉल्यूशन इज ऑप्टिमम, अनबाउंड, इनफिजिबल, डीजेनरेट। हाउ डू यू नो दैट द सॉल्यूशन इज मल्टीपल ऑप्टिमल? How do you know the solution is unbound? When all replacement ratios are negative. ये जो ऊपर मैंने आपको information दिया, उसके बेस पे these questions can be framed, right? So friends, these were some of the questions, and I think now Rajiv sir will take over. So मैं और भी क्वेश्चन आपको इसमें डाल के दूंगा. I'll give you more question in this document, and then you go through all these question in this document, and I'm very sure कुछ क्वेश्चन इसमें से आएंगे. So just go through this all. ये एक्सपेक्टेड क्वेश्चंस हैं और प्रीवियस ईयर्स के क्वेश्चन, मेरे वाले डोमेन के मैं सारे क्वेश्चन ये डॉक्यूमेंट बना के आई विल शेयर इट विद यू. थैंक यू. जस्ट होल्ड ऑन, राजीव सर इज कमिंग.
ओके सो अब हम लोग देखते हैं दोस्त जो रेस्ट अभी सर ने जो किया है, एंड नेक्स्ट विल सी हियर यू नो प्रोडक्शन एंड मटेरियल साइंस, मशीन डिजाइन, स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल, एंड यस सम क्वेश्चन ऑफ द यू नो thermodynamics, LAC, power plant, that means thermal part including fluid, all that I will see there. Okay, so let's start the story with the first question from the mechanics. Yes, that is the first question on your screen. The question is that the angle between two forces when the resultant is maximum and minimum respectively. So that question has been taken from the first chapter of the mechanics, that is of the force system. So that question from the force system has been taken. So tell me, what is the angle between the two forces when the resultant is, one is the case when resultant is maximum and another case when the resultant will be the minimum. Then what angle we can see? That question has been asked. Option A 0 and 180. Option B we can see 180 and 0. Option C 90 and 180. Option D 90 and 10. So just take any random value and you can check it out. What should be the answer, my dear friends? Suppose two forces is there, right? This is one force and this is another force. So what is the angle between these two forces? Tell me. What is the angle? Even you can see the resultant force. What is the formula of resultant force? Two force F1 and F2. Simply we can say resultant will be A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. If two forces there, A and B acting at angle theta. So if two forces is F1 and F2, so you can say the resultant will be F1 square plus F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 cos theta. Now suppose you are going to put theta is equal to 0, then the force becomes maximum. As you see there, this is one of the force F1 and this is another force F2. So what will be the net force? Simply we can say, sir, F1 plus F2. What will be F net here? What will be F net? Simply we can say, sir, F1 plus F2. That here you can also see from the that formula you can also get that value is coming out to be F1 plus F2. So when you will get the maximum value, if angle between these two forces is 0, then only cos 0 is what? 1. Simple, and we'll get the value, and it is coming out to be what? F1 plus F2. Now if the angle between these two forces is 180, something like that, this one is F1 and this one is F2. What is the angle between these two? So 180 degree. So simply we can say, sir, 180 is what? Cos 180 is minus 1. Cos 180 is what? Minus 1. So simply we can say, sir, it will be F1 square plus F2 square minus 2 F1 and F2, and it is F1 minus F2 whole square, and we will get the F net is equal to F1 minus F2. So what answer you are getting? What answer? So maximum you will get when theta is equal to, maximum will get when theta is 0, and minimum will get when theta is 180. So correct answer is what? A for apple is the right answer. Okay, we can comment your answer also. My dear friends, that time exam will be conducted by IBPS. So little bit, comparable to last year, little bit you can assume difficulty level will be the higher. Okay, So prepared accordingly. Still you have a, you know, more than, I think, more than how many days? Yes, more than 20 days still you have. So work accordingly and prepared. Okay. Clear now? Okay. Come to the next question. Come to the next question. This is the next question. If three force P, Q, R keep a body in equilibrium, the angle between P and Q is 90 degree and R is acting vertically downward, then the magnitude of force R and Q respectively in the terms of P will be. What will be answer of that question? Any one of you can tell me what value you are getting. Just give 1 minute. What answer you are getting? Tell me. Three forces P, Q, R keep a body in equilibrium. So you can see here how many forces there? Three forces there, right? So we can think, okay, here three forces there and body in equilibrium. Whenever three forces there and body is in equilibrium, this is possible only and only when these forces are concurrent. Otherwise, it is not possible. Three forces are there and this is in the equilibrium and it is a coplanar force. That means it is only possible it will be the concurrent, otherwise it is not possible. So here we can say the information PQR keep a body in equilibrium, three forces that indicate you okay, apply the Lami's theorem. That is the key word. The angle between P and Q is 90 degree and R is acting vertically downward. The magnitude of force R and Q respectively in terms of P. So yes, I have came with the solution here also we can say. So three forces are there, we can say this is the P and this is the Q, and what is the angle between these two? 90 degree. So what left? You can see my difference. This is, you can see P, Q, and this is your P. This is 90 degree, okay, and that is 90 degree. Okay, so what you can say? This will be what, my dear friends? This should be 90. So this is 45 and this is 90. So how much total it will be? 90 plus 45, 135 is coming. Similarly, it will be also 135, same way. So we can say this is 135, another one is 135, and this here you can say the 90. Now apply the Lami's theorem. So what will be the Lami's theorem? P upon sine 135 equal to Q upon sine 135, R upon sine 90. We'll get the relation P and Q in the form of R, I think. So sometimes a student will get confused how I can remember sine 135. So can you write sine 135? Can you write sine 90 plus 45? 90 plus 45 means you are going to the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant sine is always positive, so it becomes cos 45, right? Sine 90 plus theta is always cos theta. So sine cos 45 is what? 1 upon root 2. Simply we put the value and from there we'll get the relation. We will get the relation and this value is coming out to be Q and P will be the same. Even you don't have to be solved that much in the exam because time is more precious in the exam. So just think, if angle between these two forces is equal, the force will be equal. If angle between all the three angle will be same, all the three force will be the same. So since these angle and these are angle, so it will be the equal, and simply go through the option, we will get that value. Okay, well, come to the next question. That is the next question. A body of weight 50 Newton is kept on a plane inclined at angle of 30 to the horizontal. It is limiting equilibrium. The coefficient of friction. What will be the coefficient of friction? It has been asked. Can anybody can tell me what we will get here? How much its value is coming out to be? How much? See me, a body of weight 50 Newton kept on a plane inclined at angle 30 degree to the horizontal. Simple question. This is one of the plane which is going to be kept at angle of how much? 30 degree, and there is one of the object. The coefficient of friction, and it is limiting equilibrium. So here will be the mg. If W, so W, okay, perpendicular to that normal reaction, or simply we can say W equal to mg, and there will be what? Mg Anybody see? This is 30. This will be the 90. Weight will always vertically downward, no? So this is 90. So my dear friends, what will be this? So you can say 60. Again, this is 90. So what will be this? 30. So it will be here mg cos 30, mg cos of 30, and there mg sin 30. And here one frictional force is going to act is equal to mu into n. Here n is equal to what? N equal to mg cos 30. You know, always keep in mind, weight always act vertically downward, and normal reaction always act perpendicular to the contacting surface. Always means always. Here we can say this is the contacting surface, so normal reaction perpendicular to the contacting surface, right? And mu equal to n. So it is a limiting condition. So what we can say? We can say, sir, mg sin 30 is equal to friction force is equal to mu into n. N will be what? Mg cos 30, right? So simply we can say mg will going to be cancel out, and mu equal to what? 1030. Simple na, sin 30 upon cos 30 is coming out to be 1030. 1030 is equal to 1 upon root 3, right? Sin 30 upon cos 30. So simple, we can get 1 upon root 3. It is coming out to be A is the right answer. A is the right answer. So just follow the basics and you will get the coefficient of friction in that question. Well, you will get that value 1 upon root 3, right? इसको हटा देना. Yes, come to the next question. This is another question, dear. See, the axial force in the member of CE, well, and DE. Here we can see CE and DE clearly not mentioned here. C and D it is here. Batao, CE, I think this is E, right? And this is, I think, D. So what will be? What will be answer? What will be the force in C and D? Anybody can tell me? Yes, it will be the 0. See, my dear friends, whenever that type of question is coming in the exam, see, you can say there is a two force in one of the member, this is another member, and these two are collinear. Okay, here we can say this is and this is, these two are collinear, and no any external force is there. Is there any external force at point T? No. So other member will have always 0. So other member is C and D, both have always 0. So correct answer will be D for Delhi. Whenever that type of, even they can ask, tell me how many member is there which have 0 force member. Even they can ask like that. So it will be C and D, because here we can see this is coplanar force system is there, and these are collinear also, and no any external force is there. So net force will be 0, and according to that we can get a value in these two is coming out to be 0. Okay, come to the next question. That is the next question. That is again from the mechanics. Question is that a block is made to slide down on an inclined plane 30 degree with the horizontal, which is smooth. Okay, it starts sliding from rest and take a time t to reach the bottom of the plane. Well, and identical bodies freely draw from the same point. The time by the body take to reach the bottom is, and some option you have. That is a good question. You know, my dear friends, as I used to say that little bit you can expect higher difficulty that time, little bit you can expect, because basically they are going to be known to make some tougher question, so prepared for that. So that type of question you have to be, that is not a numerical, you have to practice that type of question. So what is the question? A block is made to slide down on an inclined plane 30 degree. Suppose this is the inclined plane. Okay, here block is there and the angle is given 30 degree. Well, with the horizontal, which is smooth, and this surface is smooth, it starts sliding from rest and take time t to reach the bottom. From there to there they take the time t to reach there. Okay, well, an identical ball free draw from the same point. Now you have another block. This is the case of free fall. This is the case of free fall. How much a height? Let's assume height is h. The time to body take to reach the bottom. What will be the answer of that question? Anybody can tell me? How much the value is coming out to be? Anybody? So you know how you can proceed here? Simple question. S is equal to what? Suppose that distance is, this is, let's assume h distance, simply we can say, so S is equal to what? Ut plus half gt square at square we can say. Since initially it is in the stop condition, so we can say u equal to 0 and a equal to g. So simple we can say, sir, 2h is equal to half gt squared. So from there we'll get the value of value of t, and it is coming out to be how much? 2 root under of 2h upon g. Now if it is a free fall case, so h is equal to what? Ut plus half at squared, or simply we can say half gt squared. So h is equal to half gt squared, and from this, okay, I am telling you one thing, data is there, that this is basically, this is h, this is h, then this is 2h. It is clearly mentioned in the question. I think here it is mistake point. So clearly it is mentioned here. So S is equal to, you can get that value, 2S should be there, otherwise that must have to be known, how much that will be the value. If H is there, that is known, then only can get, otherwise that value will be the given in the question, then it will be easy to solve you, and we'll get the time is T by 2. Okay, that is another question from strength of material. The ratio of load shared by part AB and BC of the bar shown below. You have a two parts, see, this is AB and this is BC, and here we can say length is given 2L by 3 and L by 3. So the ratio of load shared by force in AB to the force in BC will be what? That thing is going to be asked. Can anybody can tell me what value I'll get? कोई मुझे बताओ कि इसकी वैल्यू कितना आएगा? Any one of you can tell me the ratio of load shared by part AB and the BC of the bar is shown in the figure. In that case we can say net deflection should be what? 0, because both sides it is fixed. So net deflection should be 0, called compatibility equation. So use the concept of compatibility equation in this. What you have to use the concept of compatibility equation. So if you are going to use the equation, compatibility equation, simply we can say, sir, since both sides is fixed, so change in total length will be equal to 0. So change in length 1 plus change in length 2 is equal to what? 0. And it is a prismatic bar here. What? It is a prismatic bar. So what will be deflection? Change in length. So it is PL upon AE. So A is common, same throughout the bar. So simply we can say, sir, it will be P1L1 upon P2L2, something like that. Deflection 1 is P1L1 upon A1 E2. Deflection 2 is P2L2 upon A2 E2. But since we can say, sir, A1 E1 is the same thing. So P1 upon P2, just put the value and you will get the value is coming out to be how much? 1 upon 2, and easily will get the value. And see, even you can do like that also. Not see there. Simple. You have to be get what is the force in BC member, right? So take one in that way. We can say one load is what? P. Another reaction will be there. By that also we can get the value. In any member you have to be get the value. We can do the same thing. So here we can say, sir, P1 upon P2 is equal to L2 upon L1. Okay, and after that L2 is what? L upon 3, or L1 is what? 12 upon 3, and ultimate to get the answer is 1 upon 2. Okay, come to the next question. That is the next question. When temperature of solid metal increases, what is happening? Strength of metal decreases but ductility increases. Both strength and ductility decreases. Okay, both strength and ductility increases. Strength of metal increases but ductility decreases. What is happening? When temperature of a solid metal is increases, what will be answer of that question? So मुझे बताएगा. You have one of the solid metal. You are going to increase their temperature. So क्या होगा बताओ? Strength of metal decreases but ductility increases. Okay, both strength and ductility decreases. Both increases. Strength of the metal increases. Ductility decreases. What will be answer? Anybody? Anybody can tell me? My dear friends, just see. If you increase the temperature, any times if you are going to increase the temperature, so what is happening? Ductility is always increases. You might have seen, you have gone through the blacksmith person, जिसको तुम लोहार बोलते हो, you might have gone through. आपने देखा होगा कोई चीज को आप अगर आपको डक्टाइल मतलब बनाना है, लेंथ चेंज करना है, then what you are going to be heat them first. Hot working, cold working, you are going to heat them, then you are going to be change their length, right? So whenever you are talk about by increasing temperature, ductility is going to be what? Increases. And if you talk about strength, so it will be what? Decreases. So always keep in mind, that is a conceptual question, but keep in mind, strength of metal you talk decreases, but yeah, ductility is what? Increases. When temperature of solid metal increases, that thing you can see. Okay, come to the next question. That is another question. One end of metallic rod is fixed rigidly and if temperature is raised, it will experience zero stress, tensile, compressive or none of the above. सर पिछला मैराथन का पीडीएफ नहीं मिला है. आई हैव शेयर्ड द टीम एंड मे बी आफ्टर द जस्ट क्लास आई विल शेयर इन ऑल द ग्रुप. यू नो शायद अभी तक शेयर नहीं हुआ, आई नो. So just after the class, I will share that PDF in all the group. Whatever free group you have, I will share that PDF just after the class. Don't worry, Mr. Singh ji, right? And also that PDF also I will share. Don't worry, in the same group. See, one end of the metallic rod is fixed. So my dear friends, this is one end of the metallic rod. Okay, it is fixed, right? And temperature is going to be raised. You are going to be raised their temperature. Okay, so what will experience? It is free to expand, na? It is free to expand. Whenever you will get the free expansion case, what will be a stress? It will be zero stress always. Free stress, that is the free. This is the case of what? Free expansion. So in the free, even you know, आप खुद सोचो, यहाँ पे कोई रेसिस्ट करने के लिए है, इसको रोकने के लिए कोई है नहीं है. If no any, you know, stress is why? Because of internal force. तो यहाँ पे कोई restriction है ही नहीं. So no any, you know, internal force will develop. So no any stress will come. So A for apple is the right answer dear. Whenever that type of question is coming, if free to expand case is there, stress will be always zero. Thermal stress you talk about. That is another question. Maximum shear stress of a sound. Stress condition will be, what will be the maximum shear stress? Draw the Mohr circle and try to answer. सत्यम, सत्या कबीर. सर इस मैराथन का पीडीएफ मिलेगा सभी सब्जेक्ट का. श्योर विल गेट द पीडीएफ ऑफ ऑल द मैराथन. नॉट ओनली दैट, whatever marathon is there, that is totally free to all of you, right? Just for revision purpose. So whatever you have read, it will be easy to recall in, you know, 3.5 hours. That's why I will share all the PDF. I think, you know, last PDF also I have shared, but okay, you haven't get, again I will share. Don't worry. You know, might be possible now some people is joining late the group, so that's why it is happening, right? What will be answer, my dear friends? What? Zero, right? Right answer, correct answer, zero. You know, just draw their Mohr circle. You can see, if you are going to be draw the Mohr circle, what is the, you know, tau max, or you can say R. So this is sigma 1 minus sigma 2 upon 2 whole square plus of tau xs square. So in the no any shear stress, sigma 1 sigma 2 all are equal. So radius is zero. Radius is zero. Radius is zero means what, my dear friends? You are not going to be get any shear stress. It will be something like that. And where will be center? Center will be sigma 1 plus sigma 2 upon 2. So it will be sigma itself sigma. तो यहाँ पे center होगा. You know, that is tau and this. So you are not going to be get any radius. So shear stress will be always zero. और यहाँ पे देखो भी आप, all are, even if you are don't want to apply that concept, even see all load is tensile in the nature. Is there any shear stress is acting? No sir. So obviously shear stress in any plane will be zero. There is an infinite number of plane. In all the planes shear stress is zero. Okay, come to the next question. The number of point of contrafracture in a simply supported beam carrying uniformly distributed load. Number of contrafracture points, simply supported beam. You have just a simply supported beam, right? Simply supported beam, uniformly distributed load is there. The scenario is something like that. UDL case is there, right? So my dear friends, they are going to be asked how many contrafracture point is there? How many? Obviously, in that case, simply supported beam, you are not getting any contrafracture point. What is you know, contrafracture? it is the point where bending moment is going to be change their sign. जहां पे bending moment अपना sign को change करेगा, that will get the counterfracture. Light overhinging being you talk, in that you can see, but here you are not going to be see any counterfracture point, so answer will be 0. C for Chennai is the right answer. Counterfracture point we can get it when the continuous beam, in all that case we will get, but here you will not find any counterfracture point. Here like that, if I will ask, this is, let's assume BMD, and it is something like that. Now I will ask how many counterfracture points, so we can say 2. This is one of the point, this is another point, but here we will not see anything. So yes, C for Chennai is the right answer, and you are fortunate you guys have given the right. We can say the SFD BMD I have drawn there just for your convenience. Okay, that is the next question. Circular beam of uniform strength can be made by varying the diameter in such a way. What do you mean by the uniform strength? A circular beam of uniform strength can be made. Now tell me, what do you mean by the uniform strength? Uniform strength means, my dear friends, uniform strength means bending stress is same throughout. The meaning is that bending stress should be same throughout. It should be constant throughout. It should be constant throughout. So how it could be constant throughout? And obviously in that pure bending you talk, shear stress will be also 0. So what we can say, what is the equation? Anybody? What is the equation? My engineer हूँ sigma b upon y, that is the bending equation. My engineer हूँ, simple, m upon I, e upon r, sigma b upon y. So we can say from there, I can say, sir, sigma b is equal to m y upon I. So m by z, right? Sigma b is equal to what? M by z, because z is what, my dear friends? I upon y max, right? Y. So we can get, right? So bending stress is constant. So what should be ratio of m upon z? Obviously it should be constant. It should be constant. So what will be the answer? A for apple is the answer. So if m upon z is constant throughout, you can say yes sir, it is a uniform strength beam, especially you talk about with respect to bending stress. Even they can ask like that. So try to be always remember that equation, my engineer who, accordingly you have to be answer. Z is called section modulus, right? Polar section modulus is called J, that we can see in the torsion. Okay, come to the next question. Yeah, that is an easy question. A shaft is simultaneously subjected to torque T and bending moment M. The maximum shear stress you have to be calculate. What will be the maximum shear stress? Anybody can tell me the answer of that question? Question number what? 12 on your screen. What answer is coming out to be, dear? You do you know what you have to be calculate? Tau, na? Shear stress. So 16 T upon pi dq. You know, tau max is what? You can say 16 T upon pi dq. Right, sir? Yes, sir. 16 T upon pi dq. So I have to be calculate the T equivalent, right? And what is T equivalent? Root under of m square plus T squared. This is root under of m square plus T squared. So go through the option. 16 upon T pi dq, root under of m square plus T squared. Maximum shear stress it is going to be asked. So it is coming out to be B, not D, dear. 16 T equivalent is what? M square plus T squared. Accordingly you have to be answer. So correct answer is D. Like that type of question they may ask in direct, right? Basically this is equivalent twisting. Okay, if you talk about equivalent bending, 32m upon pi dq, 32m, like that. Okay, see, 32m upon pi dq, in that you have to be calculate the bending moment. See, अगर आपको equivalent bending moment if you have to be calculate, then in that case we can, हालांकि ऑप्शन तो कोई भी सही नहीं होता, because I am going to be get 32 m upon pi dq. In that case, equivalent m is coming out to be m plus of root under m square plus T square. In that case, we will get. So see what they are going to be asked. Accordingly, you have to be answer. Currently, D for Delhi is the right answer. Okay, I will speak in Hindi also, no problem. But since that is, you know, throughout the India, every people is going to be watch that session. So I will little bit use English, otherwise no problem. See my dear friends, that is another question. See that question. A pull of 100 kilonewton act on a bar as shown in the figure in such a way that it is parallel to the axis and 10 mm away from x-axis. The maximum bending stress produced in the bar is nearly, you have to be calculate sigma b max ना, क्या निकालना है, bending stress है ना, the bending stress you have to be calculate. Can anybody can tell me what value is it coming out to be? ठीक है, कुमार सचिन भाव महाराष्ट्र से हो, हाँ पहले ही बताओ. राइट एम आई? निरंकर, ठीक है, बताओ क्या आ जाएगा इसका आंसर. क्या आ जाएगा बताओ फटाफट. यू हैव टू बी कैलकुलेट मैक्सिमम यार, हाँ मैक्सिमम बेंडिंग स्ट्रेस यू हैव टू प्रोड्यूस. सो यू नो द इक्वेशन ना, 10 mm 80 mm, no, okay, not maximum bending produced in the bar. A pull of, you can see the 100 kilonewton act on a bar as shown in the figure. They haven't, okay, such a way that it is parallel to the bar axis and 10 mm away from x-axis. Okay, that is x-axis and this is 10 mm away. The bending stress produced in the bar nearly, you have to be calculate the bending stress. You know, here P is given, bending moment is what? P into L. Bending moment you have to be get M. M will be P into L. P into L. P is how much? This is 10 into 10 to the power 3 और 10 mm पे जाना है तो आपके पास ये आ गया, ठीक है. Y max क्या हो जाएगा? 80 upon 2, so it is coming out to be 40. So first calculate I. What will be I? BDQ upon 12. Okay, एक चीज देखो, you have to be, ठीक है कुपार सचिन भाव, देखो थोड़ा सा ध्यान से समझो, थोड़ा सा कैलकुलेशन फास्ट करना पड़ेगा. इफ यू सी द HPCL, यू नो, टेक्निकल पार्ट, आपको वहां पे न्यूमेरिकल आया हुआ है, प्रीवियसली भी आया हुआ है और आगे भी आएगा और इम्पैक्ट इस बार थोड़ा टफ भी आ सकता है. सो यू हैव टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट. ट्राई टू सॉल्व न्यूमेरिकल्स and try to, you know, speed up your calculation. That most important dear. That's why I came with that type of question today. Even, you know, in the HPCL JU I have taken a little bit numerical, but in that you can say since it is a requirement of the exam, officer post, you have to be prepared accordingly. So I is equal to BDQ upon 12. I know little bit calculation is there. So first calculate I will be BDQ upon 12. So by solving that, or you know, sigma maximum, it will be M upon I into Y max. So every value M upon I is hat and that, and after that we're getting it is out to be 18.8 Newton per mm square. See my dear friends, listen, what you have, how you have to be think. Always when see you question, try to think. Here, see how many we can say, sir, this here 100 kilonewton force is going to be act. Okay. पीडीएफ मिलेगा, मैंने अभी ज्वाइन किया, बिल्कुल मिलेगा यार. पीडीएफ मैं कहाँ लेके जाऊंगा, इतना मेहनत से आईबीपीएस पेपर सेटिंग, हाँ इतना मेहनत से पीडीएफ बना रहा हूँ, कहाँ लेके जाऊंगा बताओ. घर लेके जाना है मुझे पीडीएफ, बिल्कुल मिलेगा, ठीक है, बिल्कुल you will get the PDF. And after the end of the session today I will try to put the PDF in the group. Okay, so it will be easy to all of you guys. See my dear friends, okay, always whenever question is coming, nothing, you have to be calculate sigma B. See, maximum I have to be calculate, what is the equation, always ना follow the approach, some SOP, you know, and think accordingly. You know, मैं इंजीनियर हूँ, ये sigma B upon Y, and in this question I have to be calculate sigma maximum, so I have to be calculate sigma B. In E not known, R is not known, so that equation cannot be used. You have to be used sigma B upon Y equal to M upon I. Sir, I have to be calculate maximum bending. Maximum will always occur at outermost. Either it will be there or it will be there at outermost. So sigma B will be what? M Y upon I. Sir, in this question Y known, since it is 80, so Y will be 40. I can calculate BDQ upon 12. But sir, in this question M is not known, sir. M is not known. m is not known, तो पहले मुझे क्या कैलकुलेट करना है? First you have to be calculate m, then only we can proceed. Now how you can calculate m? Sir, it is telling something like that. Here load 10 mm, it is acting at 10 mm. So what will be moment about x-axis? Simply we can say, so load into distance. So 100 kilonewton load is going to be act. 100 load into distance is how much? Kilonewton, 10 to the power 3 and 10 mm. So from there we will get the moment about x-axis. So we get the value of moment about x-axis. Once we have get the value of moment about x-axis, put that value and go ahead. So whenever that type of question is coming now, follow the some SOP, think and then proceed. If you want to do something better in the exam, otherwise no problem, enjoy you. Come to the next question. That is the question from the theory of machine. Okay, ये क्वेश्चन है, a planar closed kinematic chain is formed, okay, with rigid link PQ 2 meter, QR 3 meter, RS 2.5 meter, SP 2.7 meter with all revolute joint. Well, the link to be fixed to obtain double rocker mechanism, okay, that is also called rocker mechanism. Which one you have to be fixed according to given condition? Which one you have to be fixed? अनिल 8-9 दिन सफिशिएंट है दोस्त. सत्या कबीर, इट इज सफिशिएंट इफ यू हैव प्रॉपर्ली आपने पढ़ा है. 8-9 days is more than sufficient time to revise all the things. Even in the session I will try to discuss all the important things, you know. Generally that's why I used to take the marathon session. It is becomes longer, 3.5 hours or more than that we will get. So in that we will try to, you know, conclude the important point. So that will be helpful. Other than that, hopefully you have seen you have made your, you know, short notes. Also go through that. Raman, he telling sir time दीजिए solve करने का. Yes, I am going to give you time, but if you taking more than 1 minute, तो थोड़ा check करो अपने आप को. You have to be check, you know, I have to be solve the question within 1 minute. Whatever speed you have to be increased, do that. Okay, so I don't think in that question will take more than 1 minute. See there, PQ is 2 mm, QR is 3 mm, PQ, see, let's assume this is PQ is how much? 2 mm, QR, let's assume QR is 3 mm, this is 2 mm, this is QR, RS is 2.5, let's assume this is S 2.5, okay, and SP is 2.7, SP this is 2.7, okay, with all revolute joint, all are revolute, okay. Well, the link to be fixed obtain double rocker. When will get the double rocker? कब आपको डबल रॉकर मैकेनिज्म मिलता है? डबल रॉकर मतलब कोई भी 360 से नहीं घूम सकता है, कोई भी 360 से नहीं घूम सकता है. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ डबल रॉकर. अब किसको फिक्स करोगे तो कोई भी नहीं घूमेगा 360 से. एनीबॉडी? What? C option is what, my dear friends? You have to be RS. Where is RS? RS. Whenever you are going to put right opposite to shortest link, we will get the double rocker, right? Opposite to shortest link. एक formula revision session conduct here mostly requirement. Nirankar, tell me if all of you are ready, then I have no problem. I will come with one of the session in which I will take only formulas, and that will hardly take 1 hour. Okay, we'll take the important formula from all that. We'll try. So what you have to fix? Opposite to the shortest, we'll get the RS opposite. You know, RS opposite to the, you can say even shortest, you will get the double rocker mechanism, even all that. So here we can get often the mechanism opposite to the shortest link to be fixed. So RS should be the fix. Now see, in the same question, if I will ask, I have to be get the double crank mechanism, double crank, then what you have to fix? In the same question I will ask, I have to be get the double crank mechanism, you know, crank. So what will be the answer in that case? Then what will be answer in the same question? इसी तरीका सारा रिवीजन हो जाएगा. Answer your comment, your answer. I am waiting. Which one you have to fix? Shortest? Yes, right. That is the next question. Right. Well, double crank. Well, Herringbone gear are used when you have to use the Herringbone gear to power transmission between shaft with axis at 90 degree to each other, for a stronger gear tooth, for a higher velocity ratio, to ensure zero axial thrust. Yes, right. Right. So in that way we will revise ना. इसी तरीका से में रिवीजन हो जाएगा ना सारा. क्या इशू है? Answer that question. हेरिबोन्स गियर को क्यों यूज करते हो? हाँ, बिल्कुल राइट आंसर. Yes, your answer is right, Nirankar. Right. What you have to fix to ensure the zero axial thrust? For that you are going to use the Herringbone gear. Can anybody tell me Herringbone gear? Which type of gear? Which type of gear? Herringbone gear is which type of gear? Also tell me. Arm and arm gear. When you have to prefer all that, you can tell me. I will give they're all here. You can read and answer all that. Next question. Here, see. An external gear with 60 teeth, message with pinion of 20 teeth, module is being 6 mm. What is the center distance in mm? So that is again easy question. I think you can able to solve. An external gear, two gear is there like that. This is, gear, and this is your pinion. Okay. And you have to be get center to center distance. How you can get center to center distance? So we can say, sir, this will be the center to center distance will be d1 upon, let's assume this is 1, this is 2. So d1 upon, d1 upon 2 plus of d2 upon 2, or in fact we can say r1 plus r2. That will be center to center distance. So how you can calculate r1 and r2? In this question you have given module. Use that concept. You have given is what? Module. Use the concept of module and you will get the center to center distance. Module is what? D upon T, right? Module is what? D upon T. So center distance simply we can say m by 2, right? D by T na? Module is what? D by, in fact we can say D upon T. So you have to be get module. Whenever you talk about matching gear, module must be same. कोई भी जब जो मैटिंग गियर है तभी मिलेगा जब मॉड्यूल क्या होगा? सेम होगा. इफ मॉड्यूल इज नॉट सेम, नेवर, दो को कभी भी नहीं मिल सकता है. तो मॉड्यूल सेम होगा तो देख लो ना. टी यू हैव टू बी गेट. सो सिंपल वी कैन से सर डी इज इक्वल टू एम इंटू टी, बट यू हैव टू बी गेट आर ना. यू हैव टू बी गेट आर. So it will be m by 2, or here we can get t1 t2, everything is given. We will get is coming out to be how much? 240 mm, right? 240 mm is the right answer. Center to center distance they can ask. That is the next question. Centrifugal force on the rim of a big flywheel cause stress in the arm, which is shear, tensile, compressive and bending. Centrifugal force in the rim of a big flywheel, right, causes stress in the arm, which is shear, tensile, compressive, bending. What will be answer? You cannot say anything like that, but if you see a previous trend, so according to previous trend, 55 45 45 55 is theory, right? 45 is numerical. Last trend you see, even good numerical they have asked, but that time 50-50 we can expect. Let's see what is happening. You prepared well. Whatever they will ask, we'll see. Leave all that on them. No one can say, because that has been changed now. How much? Tell me. Centrifugal force of the rim of a big flywheel, like that now, it will act outward. So what it will give? Tensile, compressive, shear. Centrifugal rim flywheel causes arms tensile. It will what? Tensile force outward, right? That is the next question. A spring mass system, the mass of the system is double and the spring stiffness is made half. The natural frequency of the vibration is half, double, unaffected, or quadrupled. What will be answer of that question? A spring mass system mass of the system is what? You are going to make double. Stiffness is making half. You have to be calculate the natural frequency. रमन आंसर दो इधर, ठीक है? Answer that question. What I have to be drink? Leave that on me, okay? So answer that question. What do you mean? What is frequency? Frequency formula, have you remember anyone? Half, yes. That type of numerical, not much more. Root under k upon m, na? Or you can say k equivalent upon m also. Omega, simple we can say root under k upon m. Even question clearly given, k making half, stiffness is half, but mass is double. So k upon half into 2m. Ultimate you are getting half of the, natural frequency. This is, we can say the omega n in earlier. So iska kya ho gaya? Aadha ho gaya. So you are getting half. Try to remember all that formula. And okay, numerical पूछेगा, so that not much more tougher. इतना tough भी नहीं पूछेगा. Since no calculator is there, so expect the easier numerical, and in which concept is involved rather than calculation. That type of numerical they will ask. They may ask. Next, the rate of decay of oscillation, and that is easy question. Everyone can answer. Critical damping coefficient, transmissivity, or logarithmic decrement. Everyone can answer. Rate of decay of oscillation. What will be answer of that question? The rate of decay of oscillation is known as what? Have you seen the diagram now? It is something like that. What this is? Anybody? This is logarithmic decrement, right? Simple question. And simple concept is always complicated. So don't forget. D for Delhi is the right answer here. Okay, that is the next question. The equation of motion for a damped free vibration is given as 3x double x 9x dash 27x. The damping factor will be, what will be damping factor in that question? You have to be calculate zeta. What you have to be calculate? Zeta. What will be zeta? Anybody can tell me that equation you have given? Equation आपको दिया हुआ है, तब आपसे zeta पूछा जा रहा है, क्या होगा? कोई बताओगे क्या होगा? क्या आंसर? Anybody? No one waiting for answer. Waiting for your answer. No one still waiting. Now I think I have to be solved. What answer is coming out to be? C for Chennai, D for Delhi. Satya, tell me the answer. Don't tell me the approach. B for Bombay, D for Delhi. Someone is coming with C for Chennai. So C for Chennai is the wrong answer. Critical damping, D for Delhi is the wrong answer. A for apple is also going to be give. A for apple is the wrong answer. My dear friends, whenever that type of question is going to be asked, always follow the standard. What is the standard? Standard equation, here the equation is given 3x double dot plus 9x dot plus 27x. What is the standard equation? You might have mx double dot, right? C x dot plus of k into x. And what is damping factor? We can say C upon root under what? 2 root under km. Km, right? C. So in this question, C, what the C is given? Compare. What is M? M is given 3, sir. M is given 3. What is given C? C is given 9. What is K? Sir, K is given 27. So what left there? C upon 2 root under km. Why it will be difficult? Easy na sir. So ये याद नहीं है. Then obviously thing will be the complicated. Now upon 2 root under k. K is what? 27 and m is how much? 3. So I think 9, yeah, half, yeah, that is also coming out to be 9 upon 2 into 9. So 1 upon 2, that means 0.5 is coming out to be. So 0.5 is the right answer. Always follow that standard value. M equation, you know, isko follow karo and we'll get the answer. Yeah, most of you have given the correct answer. B4 Bombo is the right answer. Well, that is the another question, and I think you guys are capable to solve that question. That's a little bit I'm going to be zoom out, zoom in. So tell me, don't fear, डरो मत, diagram देख के don't be feared. अरे यार, what a tough diagram is there. Huh? Just trust on your concept that you have read. See, a cantilever beam of negligible weight is carrying a mass m at a free end. Okay, well, and is also resting on an elastic support of stiffness K1 as shown in the figure. Some stiffness is there on which this mass is going to be supported. If K2 represent bending stiffness of the beam, K2 represent the bending stiffness of the beam, the natural frequency of the system is what? You have to be calculate natural. See, when you have to be calculate natural frequency, so what is omega n? So sir, root under K upon m, sir. K equivalent upon m, right na sir? Haan. So sir, in the question m is known, if anyhow I am able to calculate the K equivalent, हमारा काम हो जाएगा, our work will get completed. So now whole focus should be how to calculate effective stiffness. This is K2, this is K1. So how you can calculate the effective stiffness? Once you have calculated the effective stiffness, your whole work will get completed. That's why I used to say think, or even you see the option is all are in the same format. So what answer you are going to be give of that question? Waiting for your answer. Question, write down the question number, dear. It is better to write down the question number than answer. It is better na, it will be easy to me also, because sometimes you know option is coming by class जो पीछे चलता रहता है. You know, friends, see, just see, resting on elastic support stiffness shown in the figure. Now tell me, whatever deflection we let observe in that same, let's assume if it is going to be 1 mm, so what will be there? It will be also 1 mm, dear. So if we can say in both the spring deformation is same, in both the spring deformation is same, and my dear friends, whenever deformation is same in both the spring, so it is the case of what? Parallel or series? It is a parallel combination. It is a parallel, बहुत जोर से बोल रहा हूँ जी, कितना बोल पाओगे? हाँ? It is a parallel combination. So K equivalent is what, my dear friends? K equivalent is what? K1 plus K2. सुनो, जैसे देखो ये है ना, ऐसे करके मान लो हमारे पास है ना, ये m है और ये स्प्रिंग है, तो ये क्या है, जितना डिफ्लेक्शन इसमें होगा इतना ही उसमें होगा, तो ये पैरेलल कनेक्शन कहलाता है. दिस इज कॉल्ड पैरेलल कनेक्शन. सीरीज कनेक्शन विल बी डिफरेंट. In parallel connection, equivalent is coming out to be K1 plus K2, and you will get the C for Chennai is the right answer. C for Chennai is the right answer, है ना. तो देखो क्वेश्चन देखने से लग रहा था टफ, it was looking कि question is a tough, but exactly it is a not that much of tough, it was easy. So just you have to be engaged the what the concept is engaged there, check out it and easily will proceed. तो यहाँ पे देखो आप खुद सोचो, जो भी ये नीचे आएगा उतना ये भी नीचे जाएगा. So deflection is happening same in both the case. So it is the scenario of, you know what, it is the scenario of parallel, right? And parallel equivalent is going to be K1 plus K2. Can I make it in a series connection? Yes, we can. Even it is in the series connection, then we'll get the another option. Okay. So that was from the, you know, that was, dear, from your spring or, you know, damping coefficient, or you can say what it was. That is the next question from machine design. That is the next question from machine design. A machine component subject to fluctuating stress at which vary from 40 to 100 megapascal. The corrected indolence limit of stress for the machine component is 270 megapascal. The ultimate tensile strength and yield strength is 600 and, you know, 450. Well, the factor of safety against the fatigue as per the Soderbergh criteria. What is the answer of that question? Now again you answer, it will take time. No, it will. Sir, आप solve it. Which I have to solve all. मैं सिर्फ यही नहीं, मैं सारा solve करूंगा निरंकार. Don't worry, okay? But before that, take 40 seconds. Try to solve. And if you are watching my recording that video, what you have to do? Pause the video and proceed. So now your time started. Now your time started. See, meanwhile, a machine component subjected to fluctuating stress varies from, sigma minimum is given 40, sigma maximum is given 100. Well, the corrected endurance limit stress machine, sigma E is given 270 megapascal. The ultimate SUT ultimate is given 500 megapascal. Ultimate is where ultimate is for 600, and yield, okay, yield SYT or even YT we can say, this is given 450 megapascal, right? Factor of safety according to which criteria you have to be 3.75. Let me check your answer. Aspirants Deepak, your name is Aspirants Deepak. 3.75 is the right answer, dear. Great. 3.75 is the right answer. My dear friends, what is Soderberg equation? Anyone remember? Soderberg equation, just think about Soderberg. It is also called most conservative theory, क्योंकि ये सबसे अच्छा रिजल्ट देता है. So it's called most conservative. ये जो होता है मीन स्ट्रेस अपॉन क्या होता है बताओ? SYT प्लस ऑफ एम्पलीट्यूड स्ट्रेस, एम्पलीट्यूड अपॉन हमारे पास क्या होता है? सिग्मा E is equal to 1 upon n, right? 1 upon n. N is what? Factor of safety. Now calculate mean. Mean will be what, my dear friends? Sigma mean plus sigma max. 40 plus 100 upon 2. That is coming out to be 60. SYT, this is given 450. All value. Amplitude is what? Maximum minus minimum upon 2. Maximum minus minimum upon 2. Amplitude you talk. So 100 minus 40 upon 2. 100 minus 40 upon 2. Sigma E is given how much? 270. Can you calculate the n? Can you calculate? Why not, sir? Why not I can calculate, sir? क्यों नहीं calculate कर सकता? Or see, if you talk about other equation, Goodman, in that case, it is coming out to be as UT. Ultimate is coming out to be there. So just solve that value, my dear friends. I have came with the solution here. Just putting that value and we're getting the factor of safety is coming out to be 3.75. Another point that you have to be keep in mind, even they will ask which theory is called most conservative theory. Again, answer will be the what? Soderberg is called most conservative theory. तो ये भी आप याद रखोगे. Come to the next question. Then the variable stress. Okay, the machine component is subjected to a flexural stress which fluctuates between 3 to minus 150. Then the variable stress is, what will be the variable stress? 23 on your screen. What will be answer of question number 23rd? See, variable stress is also known as amplitude stress. Okay, I know you will get confused. What is variable stress? Variable stress is also known as amplitude. Right? Now you are able to amplitude stress. So what is this is, sir? Sigma amplitude is what? Sigma max minus sigma mean upon 2, na sir? So sigma max is how much, sir? This is 300 minus 150 upon 2, sir. So it is coming out to be how much? 450 upon 2. 2 to 5 na? 2 to 5. Yes, C for Chennai. I know. So sometimes ना वेरिएबल देखो अदर नाम से भी क्वेश्चन पूछ लेता है. यहाँ पे उन्होंने एम्पलीट्यूड नहीं दिया, उसका दूसरा नाम दे दिया वेरिएबल. वेरिएबल क्यों नाम दे रहे हैं जी? एम्पलीट्यूड स्ट्रेस क्या होता है? देखो जरा, यही होता है जैसे है ना, ऐसे करके है ना, है ना। तो यहां से देख रहे हो ये और यहां तक ये जो हो जाएगा, एम्पलीट्यूड तो वही है ना, इसी को तुम वेरी कर रहे हो इसलिए इसको वेरिएबल बोलते हो आप। यहाँ पे भी आप देख सकते हो, है ना, मीन पोजीशन के अबाउट जो वेरी कर रहा है। Okay. In case of saddle key, power is transmitted by means of, basically there are two types of key. That is another question from the machine design. One is called saddle key, another one is sunk key. So two types of key is there. One is saddle, another one is sunk. So power is transmitted in the saddle key, friction force, shear force, transition and tensile. What will be answer? Saddle key. In case of saddle key, friction, power is always going to be transmitted by the frictional force, and that's so my dear friends, saddle key you are not going to be used when you have to be huge power transmission. In case of huge power transmission, I am going to use the sunk key. Which key? Sunk key. Saddle key is going to use just for the low power transmission, because friction, this is one of the hub and here, so only. Even in the last, in the marathon session of HPCL GAU, I have completed that question, that type of question. Woodruff key is used, can answer when you have to use the Woodruff key, and you have to use the Woodruff key. Anybody? 25 on your screen. Woodruff key, what will be answer? 25 waiting. C4 Chennai, some of you are coming with C4 Chennai. Heavy torque and low speed. Heavy torque, for heavy torque bidirectional, I am going to use the tangent key, dear. Heavy bidirectional, for that I am going to use the tangent key. So always keep in mind, Woodruff key is going to for low torque and high speed. So C4 Bombay, not C4 Chennai. See what making mistakes you guys are. देखो हमने 4-5 सेशन लिया हूं एमडी पे, एक बार सारा देख लो, लमसम सारा चीज आपको पता चल जाएगा। 4-5 सेशन मैं एमडी पे भी लिया हूं, सो गो थ्रू दैट, वॉच ऑल द लेक्चर्स, लगभग सारा चीजें कवर हो जाएगा। Well, the maximum efficiency of a screw jack provided with the square thread and angle of friction is 30 degree. I know if you have remembered the efficiency formula, you are able to solve that question. If you have remember. Because of taper, Raman, this is because of taper. You are asking why sir low torque? Because of tapering is there, na? So because of taper, that's why you are going to use the low. Yeah, 33 is the right answer. Good. 33 is what? Right answer. 1 plus sin phi upon 1 minus cos phi, right? 1 plus sin phi, sorry, 1 minus sin phi upon 1 plus sin phi. Just put the value and we'll get the, it is coming out to be 33% is the right answer. The tearing efficiency of a repeated joint is 75, then the ratio of diameter of rivet to the pitch is equal to. Tearing efficiency is given, then it is going to be asked the ratio of rivet pitch is equal to ratio of pitch, the diameter of rivet to the pitch. What will be answer of that? It is going to be asked. Answer that question. What answer is coming out to be, anybody? 27B. See, tearing efficiency, this is coming out to be 1 minus D upon P. So D upon P, that always keep in mind, because of tearing, plate is going to be fail. If you talk about riveted joint, so 3 types of story is there: tearing, cursing, and what? Tell me another. Cursing, shearing, and tearing. Because of cursing and shearing, your rivet is going to fail. Because of tearing, your plate is going to fail. Right? So in all that case, joint will fail. but tearing efficiency 1 minus d upon p. Always keep in mind d upon p. So by that you will get the answer. It is coming out to be T.25. Riveted joint may fail. Again, now you are able to answer that question because अभी मैंने उसका आंसर बात कर लिया हूं, and अभी मैंने इसका आंसर बात कर लिया हूं, तो मुझे लगता है ये आप बता दोगे. What answer is coming out to be? Anybody? Riveted joint may fail by tearing of the plate edge, tearing of the plate across rivet, shearing of the rivet. What will be answer? What will be the answer? Tearing of the plate at an edge. Okay, edge पे भी हो सकता है. Tearing plate across a row of rivet. Yes, it could be also possible. Shearing of the rivet. Yes, all these are possible. So correct answer will be D. You know, tearing, because of tearing ना plate. Tearing क्या है ना यार, जैसे ये प्लेट है, सपोज करो, अगर रिवीट का मतलब किल समझो, किल. अगर मैं बहुत बड़ा किल इस पे ठोक दूंगा तो तुम्हें नहीं लगता कि प्लेट ही फेल हो जाएगा? अगर प्लेट फेल हो जाएगा तो आंख से आंसू आएगा. सो इट इज कॉल्ड टीयरिंग. कभी भी प्लेट पे, मान लो तुमको प्लेट जोड़ना था, अगर रिबीट टूटता तो दूसरा रिबीट हम खरीद सकते हैं, लेकिन पता चला प्लेट ही टूट गया, तो क्या मैं दूसरा प्लेट लाना लूंगा तो आंख से आंसू आएगा कि नहीं आएगा? That's why it is called, tearing. Okay, so because of tearing, no, that's why that is just a approach that you can use to just recall the things in the exam. Tearing like that. Okay, so tearing से plate, yes. Shearing से rivet टूटेगा. So because of all that, riveted joint will break. Well, that I think that question you are able to answer. I am going to little bit zoom out. Answer that question. Question number 29 on your screen. What will be answer? नहीं, हमेशा मैं गुड एग्जांपल ही देता हूँ. कोई कोई आपको अच्छा लग जाता है, कोई कोई नहीं लगता. प्रैक्टिकल पे चीजें समझोगे ना तो आसान होता है चीजें. What answer is coming out to be? See my dear friends, if you talk about primary shear force, right? Yes, if you talk about primary shear force, it will be equal on all. Primary shear force will be equal on all, right? Primary shear force will be equal on all. It is opposite to the applied load. But if you talk about secondary shear force, right? Secondary shear force. So secondary shear force is whichever is near, right, on which secondary shear force will be the high. So overall force will be the high. तो कौन नजदीक है? आप बोलोगे सर बी और सी नजदीक है लोड का. So on B and C, secondary shear force will be the high. And if secondary shear force is high, so overall will be also high. So what will be answer? C for Chennai, B and C is maximum. And yeah, fortunate, most of you have given the correct answer. हमेशा समझो जो रिबीट लोड के पास है उस पे कहीं ना कहीं ज्यादा स्ट्रेस जनरेट होगा. Now if I will ask, right, if I will ask कि मुझे ये बताओ डायमीटर हम किसके आधार पे जज करेंगे? So if these rivet are safe, it will be already safe. So if I have to be designed, I will design according to that loading condition. Even they will ask like that. चलो, that is the next question. Question number 30. Two identical ball bearing P and Q are operating at a load 30 kilonewton, 45 kN respectively. The ratio of life of the bearing, even in the that batch also you have completed that type of question. Life of the bearing से question आता रहता है एग्जाम में. Life of the bearing से अच्छा खासा question आता है. So solve that question. What answer is coming out to be? 30 on your screen. You have just 30 seconds to solve that question. More than 30 seconds is not good for that question. Your 30 seconds is goes. Question number 30. Life, earlier I have told you, C P के power 3, right? In case of ball bearing, it will be 10 upon 3 in case of roller bearing. Right? C is same, identical, two identical bearing. that means catalog load will be the same. Catalog load will be the same, dear. So you can say, na sir, LP ke power LP ke power 3 is equal to constant. So L1 P1 ke power 3 is equal to L2 P2 ke power 3. Right? What ratio? Ratio of load of P to that of bearing P. So LP upon LQ will be what? Opposite now? Tell me. So it will be PQ upon P power 3. Now see what this value is there. What the value is there. Now put that value and we'll get the value it is coming out to be. Here we can say L upon P here, that just put 45 upon 30, 15, 3 is 45, and it is coming out to be 28 upon 7. So by that way we can proceed in that type of question. 30 answer is B for Bombo is the right answer. Yes, try to solve that question. In case of single plate, new clutch and brake, the friction radius is equal to, and some option you have given. Can you solve that question, dear? You have 1 minute of time for that question. Sir, Vijender sir have discussed more than 60 question. I will discuss more than 75 question, or in fact we can say exactly 75 question I will discuss. So 75 plus 60 will get that much amount of question is there. What answer is coming out to be? Aspirants Deepak 1 upon 3. Okay. What about others? Raman, what answer you are getting? A. Well, so generally a student have remember here you can say by new clutch. When you talk about new clutch, you have to be use the uniform pressure theory, right? What? Uniform pressure theory. So according to uniform pressure theory, if you have remember D equivalent, so it is coming out to be what? 2 by 3 pi D R naught Q minus RIQ. It is coming something like that. 2 upon 3 mu W R naught Q minus RIQ upon R naught square minus RI square. This is according to UPT. You can say, sir, ask in the question UPT is not mentioned, but in the question new clutch is mentioned ना. New clutch means या यूनिफॉर्म प्रेशर थ्योरी. स्टूडेंट पूछता है कि सर इसमें यूपीटी तो है ही नहीं, फिर आपने कैसे मान लिया? आपने कैसे मान लिया? बिकॉज न्यू क्लच है, तो ये मुझे बता रहा है कि यूनिफॉर्म प्रेशर. यस यार, 2/3 it will get cancel out. See there, 2/3 R naught Q minus RIQ upon R naught square. Now R, instead of R can you write D upon 2? Accordingly we have to proceed. And here 2Q, here 2 square, so 1 2 2 will cancel out now. A for apple is the right answer. Clear? Mr. Raman Preet Singh, clear? So it will get cancel out yaar. 2 3 ja 8 or 2 2 ja 4, ऊपर it will go to 1 2 will be in the denominator. These two will get cancel out. Okay, that is the question number 32. The total torque transmitted by single plate clutch, both sides are effective with axial spring of 1 kilonewton. Inner radius is 10 centimeter and outer radius is 15 centimeter. Okay, torque transmitted by single plate clutch you have to calculate. What will be answer of that? Now we can say, sir, in this question nothing is mentioned. UPT, UWT, nothing is mentioned. Then what I have to be choose, sir? UPT or UWT? If nothing is mentioned, by default you have to be considered uniform wear theory. So in this question we can say nothing is mentioned, means you have to be considered uniform wear theory. If nothing is mentioned, you have to be take the actual condition, and this is uniform wear theory. So accordingly you have to be proceed. Uniform wear theory you have to proceed. 32 student is telling D. So what is the uniform wear theory, dear? We can apply half of mu W R effective. So here we can, N is number of effective pair. So simple, put the value, effective period 2 is there, and we are getting, it is coming out to be 125. Right now, here we can see both sides are effective now. Both sides are effective. So from that, we will getting the value of n. Okay, come to the next question. Yes, that is a question of the material science. किसका क्वेश्चन है ये? मटेरियल साइंस का है. सो नाउ यू हैव टू बी आंसर दैट क्वेश्चन. How much answer is coming out to be 33 on your screen? What answer is coming out to be, dear? B. Try to remember that value. Yes, B is the right answer. Try to remember. One question we'll see from that segment. So in the mechanics is how much? Important, dear. They will ask the numericals. Earlier also they have asked the numerical from EM. So important. You can expect 2 questions or maybe 2 questions you can expect. 2 to 3 questions they may ask in the mechanics. You cannot left one question they may ask from the friction. Another question from the truss. These 2 topic is important. So they may ask from that segment. So prepared for that, Raman. Force system even they can ask also. So try to remember that. Okay, it will be important. Hypoeutectoid still have common carbon content. Hypoeutectoid, hypo and hyper. Hypo means कम. हाइपो मीन्स नहीं बोलते यार, ये छोटी छोटी बात पे हाइपर हो जाता है, ऐसे बोलते हो ना, ये छोटी छोटी बात पे हाइपर हो जाता है. हाइपर मतलब गुस्सा आ जाता है, मतलब वैल्यू ज्यादा हो जाता है. और ये हाइपो है, हाइपो मतलब शांत है, कम गुस्सा है. तो हाइपो मीन्स परसेंट ऑफ कार्बन कम होना चाहिए, राइट? Used to say hyper, that people gave hyper on small things. So yes, equal to no, less than. Yes, my dear friends, B for Bombo is the right answer. But if they talk about hypereutectoid, then scenario will be changed. Hypo means less, hyper means jada. So hypoeutectoid you talk about. Yes, B for Bombo is the right answer. The correct order of coordination number, all that, what will be the coordination number order? सिंपल क्यूबिक 6, बॉडी सेंटर्ड 8, फेस सेंटर्ड 12 12, 6 8 12 12, 6 8 12 12, राइट? 6 8 12 12 कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर. A and R also. Work hardening strengthen of an alloy. Work hardening क्या करता है जी? Removing internal defect in the crystal structures, increasing dislocation density, decreasing the grain size of the alloy, increasing elastic resistance to dislocation motion. What will be answer of that question? Work hardening, work hardening is hot working or cold working. First tell. Work hardening is hot working or cold working. Whenever you talk about work hardening, it is related to what, my dear friends? Cold working. And cold working you might have been studied, if you have proper studied, then in chapter is what? Matter forming. Matter forming आपने पढ़ा होगा इसके बारे में. So now answer, that was just a hint to you. What answer? work hardening, increasing the dislocation density, right? Increasing the dislocation density. Because of increment in dislocation density, malleability increases. Okay, malleability is what? Increases. Dislocation density, malleable will increase. So before Mumbai is the right answer, dear. Work hardening, cold working, all that try to remember. Next is what? Hot working, all are important. So recall all that. The percentage of carbon in pig iron. What is the percentage of carbon in pig iron? Can you tell me? What is the percentage of carbon in pig iron? What will be answer of that question? See, if you think about exact value, dear, exact value na, pig iron percent of carbon is 3.5 to 4.5. That is the exact value. Okay, but according to option, you can choose A for apple is the right answer. Pig iron. Okay, if yes, if you talk about, my dear friends, if you have to be get either cast iron or you have to be get the steel, I am going to be first. You are going to produce the pig iron, then from the blast furnace, and after that you are making cast iron or steel. So first step to production of either steel or cast iron from the iron is pig iron. Then you are going to be get a steel or cast iron. Even keep in mind. And pig iron you are getting in which type of furnace? Blast furnace. You are getting in blast furnace. Okay. Whose length is 20 cm, the cross sectional area of the base of the Dawn spree is 1 cm squared. The Dawn spree feed the horizontal runner leading into the mold cavity of volume 100 as on 1000 cm3. The time required to fill the mold cavity. So you can take 1 minute for that question. But you are able to solve that question. 1 minute is sufficient for that. How much value is coming out to be? Anybody? Simple question, dear. Don't make it, this is, simple question. Usually a student making it, complicated. Simple question is always complicated. Usually a student is going to make right. This is the, that cavity you have to fill. Let's assume. So what will be velocity here? Velocity will be 2gh, dear. So I will ask, discharge is equal to what? Area into volume. Flow rate is what? Discharge. Area into velocity. What is their unit? Meter cube per second. And what is velocity? So volume upon velocity we can get, right? So simple, we can say, sir, first I will get the velocity and area is there also. I can say in unit time how much discharge is given. We can calculate area into velocity. Area is given here. A mold, Dawn spree whole length is 20 centimeter. Okay, that length is 20 centimeter. Cross sectional area of the base of the Dawn spree is 1 centimeter. The Dawn spree feed horizontal running into the mold cavity. Okay, that is given. 1000 centimeter cube. And okay, Dawn is there, no problem. It is something like a Dawn sprue. Okay, height is given 20 meter. Dawn sprue is there, height is given 20 meter. Dawn sprue is there 20 meter, 20 mm, 20 centimeter. 20 centimeter. So we can see here volume of casting is given, velocity of sprue, we will get that. Now what we can say, in 1 second how much it is going to be? So we can say volume upon discharge, we will get time. Volume, so volume is given how much? 1000 centimeter cube. And discharge you are getting, just put the value and we'll get 5.505 second. Okay, now this is an easy question. You are able to solve that question. Tell me, 2 cubical casting of same metal size, 2 cm side and 4 cm side are molded in a green sand. If a smaller casting solidify in 2 minutes, The expected time solidification of the larger casting. What will be answer of that? Question number 13 and answer fast. Waiting for your answer. Done. What answer is coming out to be, dear? 2. You know what is the solidification time? What is the solidification time? So we can say volume upon surface area whole squared. This is Chunov rule, right? Volume upon surface area 39b. Just put the value. Surface area, everything is given here. Volume upon surface area. So V upon A, V upon A. Just put the value, and after that we'll get how much minute? 8 minute is coming out to be. So I think, yeah, most of you have given the correct answer. Next, which are the best production of hollow pipe? You have to be make a hollow pipe. Then which one is the best? Investment casting, centrifugal, continuous, hot chamber die casting. Which one you have to be get a hollow pipe? Yes, hollow pipe of cast iron you will get by the centrifugal casting. Hollow pipe of cast iron, centrifugal casting. Okay, even you can go through the sand casting also by using the core. Now, by using the core, you can go with the sand casting. Okay, good. That question everyone have given the correct answer. Python is made slightly larger in dimension to give wrapping allowance, shrinkage allowance, draft allowance, or none of the above. Question number 41 on your screen. Which one? Yes, wrapping allowance, no. For shrinkage allowance, na. Right. Shrinkage allowance, na, you are going to give the Python side, especially for the solidification. No, if you especially for the solid shrinkage. Liquid shrinkage, solidification shrinkage, and solid shrinkage. 3 types of shrinkage: liquid, solidification, and solid. So for the solid shrinkage, you are going to be give the shrinkage allowance for the Python dimension. Okay. So yes, B for Bombay is the right answer. 41, B for Bombay is the right answer. Next question. Which of the following is a solid state welding process? Which of the following is solid state welding process? What, yaar? Sport welding. Sport welding part of resistance welding, and resistance welding is what, dear? It is considered solid or liquid state? Anybody? Liquid state, dear. Sport welding cannot be. It is the part of resistance welding, and it is considered as a liquid state. So B for C for Chennai is the wrong answer. Submerged cannot be tungsten. So diffusion welding is in the given option: diffusion welding, friction welding, that all comes under the category of solid state welding, right? That all diffusion, friction, all are solid state welding. So your answer should be B for Bombay, not C for Chennai. Unfortunate, all of you have given C for Chennai. Okay, that is the next question. If a cutting tool is designated at 0, 10, 6, 6, R75, 1, what is the side cutting edge angle of the tool? What is the side cutting edge angle of the tool? Anybody? साइड कटिंग एज एंगल मैं तरीका भी बताता हूं, है ना, इसका क्लास में जिसने भी किया होगा सबको पता होगा। पहले क्या करते हो, कोई दोस्त होता है तो पहले क्या करते हो, उसको पहले कहानी स्टार्ट होगा रेक से, रेक के बाद रिलीफ देते हो और रिलीफ के बाद कटिंग करते हो। किसी दोस्त से जब तुम्हें काम होगा तो उसको रिलीफ दोगे ना, पेटीज खिलाओगे कॉलेज में, पार्टी दोगे, मतलब रिलीफ हो रहा है, और फिर बाद में उसका क्या करते हो, काटते हो। अरे काटते हो कि नहीं काटते हो दोस्त को? कॉलेज में तो ऐसे ही होता है, पहले हम दोस्ती करते हैं, रेक हो रहा है ना, फिर इसको खिलाते पिलाते हैं, मतलब इसको मैं रिलीफ दे रहा हूँ, और फिर उसका काट देंगे हम बाद में। तो याद रखना, फर्स्ट टू इज रेक, आफ्टर दैट रिलीफ एंड आफ्टर दैट कटिंग। तो क्या पूछ रहा है, साइड कटिंग, राइट। तो साइड कटिंग, यहाँ पे आर तो ऑप्शन में है भी नहीं, है ना, ये हो जाएगा। साइड विल ऑलवेज कम एट इवन पोजीशन, will always come as what, side cutting edge angle की बात हो रही है ना, cutting, yes, D for Delhi ना, side देखो, बाइक रेक एंगल, साइड रेक एंगल, एंड कटिंग एज एंगल, साइड कटिंग एज एंगल, सॉरी, एंड रिलीफ एंगल, साइड रिलीफ एंगल, एंड कटिंग एज एंगल, साइड कटिंग एज एंगल, नोज रेडियस। नहीं समझा? क्लियर हो गया? क्लियर है? तुम मेरा बहुत केयर करते हो जी, आ जाओ इधर ही तुम फिर। हाँ, दिस इज बाइक रेक एंगल, साइड रेक एंगल, ओके। दिस इज रेक के बाद रिलीफ, रेक रिलीफ कटिंग, रेक रिलीफ कटिंग, एंड कटिंग, साइड कटिंग, एंड रिलीफ, सॉरी सेकेंड इज रिलीफ, रेक रिलीफ कटिंग, रेक रिलीफ कटिंग, एंड रिलीफ, रेक रिलीफ, रिलीफ आफ्टर कटिंग, एंड कटिंग, साइड कटिंग। So side will be always at the even position, okay, that way you are able to answer that question, okay, easy। याद रखो, rake, relief, cutting, okay, easy question। okay, in an orthogonal cutting operation the chip thickness and the uncut chip thickness are equal to 0.45 each. Well, if the tool rake angle is 0 degree, the shear plane angle is, you have to be calculate the phi, what you have to be calculate the phi, how you can calculate? चाहे समाप्त हो गया रमनप्रीत, आगे तुम बनाना पड़ेगा यार, समाप्त हो गया। क्या करो, समाप्त हो गया, हाँ भेजो इधर से फिर। Tell me, if orthogonal cutting operation chip thickness and the uncut chip thickness are equal to 0.45 mm each, if the tool rake angle is 0, the shear plane angle is, the shear plane angle is, so you know my dear friends how you can calculate, tan phi is equal to r cos of alpha upon 1 minus r sin of alpha. So in the question sir clearly mentioned alpha is 0, so sir alpha is 0 means sin 0, so what it is coming out to be sir, tan phi is equal to r, right, r into 1 upon 1 minus r into 0, right, r is what, r is t upon tc, right, t upon tc, so both are equal na sir, right na, both are equal, so it is coming out to be 1, so all are 1 na, so phi equal to tan inverse 1, and tan inverse 1 means 45 degree, right, simple, we'll get the 45. So yeah, C for Chennai is the right answer, 45 is the right answer. Okay, so come to the next question, but now my laptop is hanged, so just give 1 minute. Okay, so what was the next question, dear? Okay, so that question you have did. This is the next question. Minimum shear strain in orthogonal turning with cutting zero tool zero rectangle is what? Minimum shear strain and orthogonal turning with cutting tool zero rectangle is. What will be answer? Question number 45 on your screen. Question number 45. See what a coincidence. Last question answer was 45 and after that question number 45 came. So it is just a coincidence, right? So answer that question, waiting for your answer. You may also coincident. Chennai, right? 1 plus 1, Chennai or Delhi, yaar? Chennai or Delhi? Delhi should be there, na yaar? Huh? This is like that. It is coming out to be Delhi. Gamma is 2. This is some formula, just use that and it is coming out to be 2. Minimum value is same 2. Next. The chip thickness during the slab milling process is directly proportional to 46. Question number 46. What will be answer question number 46? The chip thickness during the slab milling process is directly proportional to. Again, that question has been taken from the machine tool, or you can say the machining operation. From that segment, that question has been taken. Question number 46 on your screen. 46, yes. एमटेक वाले बाबा बहुत देर के बाद आए हो जी. एमटेक वाले बाबा बताओ इतना लेट करोगे? बिल्कुल सही जवाब है. Your answer is absolute right. Feed rate and workpiece. एमटेक वाले बाबा ने बोल दिया तो बोल दिया. राइट, गुड आंसर. तो यार याद करो ये सारी चीजें, कहानी कैसे भूलते हो जी. अगला क्वेश्चन. Okay, now the question from the thermal engineering. ठीक है, यहां से अपना कहानी स्टार्ट होता है. Now an ideal gas at 27 degrees Celsius heating at a constant pressure till its volume becomes 3 times. What would be the temperature of gas? What will be answer of that question? ठीक है, ओके, नो इशू डियर. राइट, गुड. ऐसे ही आया करो. ओके, अटेंडेंस इम्पोर्टेंट. गुड, थैंक यू. Answer that question. See, an ideal gas at 27 heated at a constant pressure, right? You know PV equal to MRT. So sir, pressure is constant, na sir? Okay. So and M is all are constant. M and R all are constant. Why? Because it is a case of closed system, sir. So if everything is constant, can I say V is proportional to T? Yes, sir. Why not, sir? So can I say V1 upon T1 is equal to V2 upon T2? Why not, sir? Easy question, sir. Obviously. But what the main thing that you have to be keep in mind here? Temperature must be in the Kelvin. Don't be 27 degrees Celsius. Temperature always keep in mind it must be in the Kelvin, not in degrees Celsius. Usually a student going to make a mistake like that. Don't commit a mistake like that. Okay. So heated at a constant pressure until its volume becomes 3 times. So V1 upon T1 is what? 300 to 73. Okay, is equal to V2. V2 is 3 V1. Temperature T2 you have to be calculate. Right. So how much? 900. So T2 is equal to 900 minus 273. 627, sir. Right. Because degree Celsius is there, we will get the answer. How much? Let me check. हाँ जी, सही बता रहे हो. 543. सॉरी माय कैलकुलेशन एरर. अरे मेरा कैलकुलेशन एरर तो ठीक है जी, तुम्हारा गलत था. हाँ, किसने बोला था? मुझे लगा मेरा गलत है. सही है ना? By minus 627 is coming out to be right. Yes, aspirants. Right. B for Bombay is, sorry, whatever, B for Bombay is the right answer, 627. That is another question. A gauge pressure in a truck tire before and after the journey was recorded at 200 kilopascal and 220 kilopascal respectively at the location where atmospheric pressure and temperature was 127 degrees Celsius. How much the rise in temperature of tire after trip? That is another good question, and you can solve within 1 minute that question, not more than that. A gauge pressure in a truck tire before and after journey. Before journey is 200 kilopascal and after journey is 220 kilopascal at a location where atmospheric pressure and temperature is given 127 degrees Celsius. Right? Are you solving that question? How much rise in temperature of the tire year after trip? Your time started. You have just 1 minute of time, and I think 1 minute is sufficient to solve that type of question, dear. "48, your time is up." 48 answer is coming out to A for apple, and yeah, unfortunate, A for apple is the wrong answer. My dear friends, just use, see, whatever, little bit use mind. Don't say sir दिमाग का मैं एग्जाम में यूज करेंगे. See, in this question, a truck tire before and after the journey was recorded this and this respectively at a location where atmospheric pressure and temperature was 100 and that respectively. Okay, how much the rise temperature of the tire after trip? Dear, tell me. You can say, sir, volume of the tire is constant, na sir, right? Can I write PV equal to MRT? Why not, sir? So sir, if pressure is constant, sorry, if volume is constant, same tire is there, na sir, right? Right. So can I say P is proportional to T? Yes, sir. Why not, sir? Sir, okay, see, at a location where atmospheric pressure and temperature 27 degree. So pressure increases to 20. So temperature must be more than 27. And only one option is there. Yeah. Why need to waste your time? Otherwise, no, sir. Please solve the question also, sir. Okay, I will solve also. But that was a shortcut. In the exam, you have to be used presence of mind for better gathering. Even if I am going to be solved, don't worry, but think like that. Okay, when it was filled, right, temperature was 27. Since pressure increases, volume constant, so obviously temperature should be more than 27 within the tire. And through the option, I will get only one option. No, what the another option, sir? Since volume is constant, so I can I say P proportional to T. So P1 upon T1 is equal to P2 upon T2. Yes, sir. So initial journey was recorded 200 kilopascal. So P1 is given, sir, 200. Okay. T1, since it is going to fill, so T1 is given 27. Don't put 27. 273 plus 27. So it is 300 Kelvin, sir. P2, 220, sir. Can you get the value of T2? Why not, sir? I will get the value of T2 from there. I will get the value of T2 from there. So T2 is coming out to be, by solve that, 320. 320 means 47 degrees Celsius. Clear? Tell me, is it clear to all? Is it clear? So, in the exam, little bit, use your mind also. Don't, इसको बंद मत होने दो. ऑप्शन एलिमिनेट करके भी हम क्वेश्चन को फटाफट सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. Okay. No. Final temperature it is going to be asked. What? How much the rise in temperature of the tire after trip? Okay. How much the rise in temperature? Actually, the question is that what is the final temperature? Okay. What is the final? If the rise in how much the rise in temperature, then yes, you are right. Then A will be the answer. Good. Maurya, you are right according to that. But in the question, they are going to ask what is the final temperature. If rise is going to ask according to question, then yes, A will be the answer. Otherwise, what is the final temperature? Okay, then it will be the 47. According to option, even you can be able to answer. See, okay. Thermodynamics work is a product of easy question. easy question. Thermodynamic work is a product of what? Two intensive property, two intensive property, extensive. What will be answer of that? Question number 49 on your screen. What answer? PdV na? Thermodynamic work is what? PdV. Huh? So volume is what? Intensive property, and pressure is extensive property. So intensive change with extensive property. An intensive property and change with an extensive property. Okay, pressure is intensive and volume is extensive. So intensive property change in extensive. Yes, C for Chennai now. C for Chennai is the right answer. PdV. Clear? Simple question it was. That is the another question. Solve that question. A system undergoes change of rate during which 100 kilojoule of heat is transferred right to it and does 5 kilojoule of work. The system is brought back to the original state through the process during which 120 kilojoule of heat is transferred to it. The work done by the system is, and some option you have. That question again has been taken from the thermodynamics. तो करो, 1 मिनट आप टाइम ले लो, मुझे कोई हड़बड़ी नहीं है. टेक योर 50 सेकेंड, क्योंकि 10 सेकेंड तो आपको कमेंट करने में भी लगेगा. So take 50 seconds for that question and try to answer. Simple question. A system undergoes change rate during which 100 kilojoule of heat is transferred and it does 50 kilojoule of work. Let's say this is point 1, this is 2. So 1 say 2, something like that. Okay, 1 say 2. You can say Q1 to 2. A system undergoes rate of 100 kilojoule heat is transferred to it. Means Q1 to system is given, so it will be positive. And does work. So work done, Q1 work done is what? 1 say 2. This is 50, and it is also both time positive. Okay. The system is brought back to the original position. No, system is brought back to the original position. This is 1 2. Original through a process during which itna heat is transferred to it. Again, heat is going to be transferred. Q 2 1. This is going to be transferred to it. How much? 120. Then the work done by the system is, you have to be calculate the work done. So this is cyclic process. Net work transfer is equal to net heat transfer. For a cyclic process, what is the first law of thermodynamics? For a closed system undergoes cycle, net heat transfer is equal to net work transfer. Net heat transfer is equal to net work transfer. Use that concept here. Net heat transfer is equal to net work transfer. So here both the time it is positive. Here you are getting the value is coming out to be how much? 170 is coming out to be. Simple question it was there. So how many questions have solved 170? Yes, aspirants. Deepak, you are right. Haraman Preet Singh, wrong dear. Okay. Maurya Solanki, wrong. Right. So you guys are given the correct answer. Well, so that was just a cyclic process, na? So for a cyclic, apply the first law of thermodynamics. Net heat transfer is equal to net work transfer for a cycle, undergoing cycle for a closed system. अरे डरा भी देता है यार ये फोन. Right, answer that question. Carnot efficiency is maximum. Done? Done, tell me. Done, everyone? Right. So my dear friends, Carnot cycle efficiency maximum when 1 minus what? TL upon TH. So when TL will be 0, initial temperature, final temperature, difference, final temperature. No, final temperature will be 0, it will be infinite. So initial temperature should be 0, right? 51. Final temperature 1 minus TL upon TH, na? Huh? So what should be answer? Okay, fast. Yes, initial temperature TL upon TH, Carnot cycle maximum. So yes, this is your TH, will get the work, and this is your TL. TL is your final temperature, right? So it should be 0 Kelvin. So efficiency will be 100%. But can you tell me, is it possible to get the 0 Kelvin? Is it possible to get the 0 Kelvin? Because if the efficiency will become 100%, so it will violate the what? Second law of thermodynamics, that is called PMM2. So is it possible? No. So that's why sometimes it is said that how we can prove that 0 Kelvin achieving is impossible. If I will achieve the 0 Kelvin, it will become PMM2. PMM2 means it will violate the second law of thermodynamics, and it will never possible. So 0 Kelvin means final temperature 0 Kelvin is never achievable. And if the final temperature 0 Kelvin, the meaning is that nothing is going to be exhaust. So it is working between a single reservoir. It is also not possible, right? So yeah, 51 you guys have given. B for Bombay is a good answer. That is another question. And yeah, again, a Carnot engine reject 30% of the absorbed heat to a sink at 30 degrees Celsius. The temperature of heat source is heat source temperature. They are going to be asked. What will be heat source temperature? बता दो क्या हो जाएगा heat source temperature. 52 on your screen. Question number 52 on your screen. कितना आ रहा है 52? Carnot engine है ना, so that means it is reversible. Whenever in the question we are going to be see Carnot, the meaning is that it is reversible, right or no? Yes sir. So just use that concept here. Q rejection 30% Q supply. So efficiency is 1 minus Q rejection upon Q supply. So from that we'll get the 70%, and 70 is what? 1 minus T2 upon T1, yani ki TL upon TH. And by that you are going to solve the question. It is coming out to be in the Kelvin. Temperature always put in the Kelvin, and after that since you have to be get answer in degree Celsius, तो क्या करो 273 उसमें सब्सट्रैक्ट कर दो, just subtract the 273 and you will get the answer. Okay, a hot body at 100 Kelvin transfer 2 kilojoule of heat to a body at 500 Kelvin. Determine the net entropy change. What will be net entropy change? Question number 53. What will be net entropy change? Answer fast, dear. Question number 52. Sorry, 53. What answer it is coming out to be? So simple question. What answer is coming out to be 53? Chennai. Chennai is the right answer. See, Q net is equal to what? Q of source. Entropy net. You can say net is equal to entropy change in system plus entropy change in surrounding. 100 kilojoule transfer. Itna 100 Kelvin. This is 1000 Kelvin. Transfer is heat how much? 2000 Kelvin. And goes at 500 Kelvin. How much? 500. So what will be? Simple, we can say system system is going to be reject, so it will be minus q upon t. Minus is what? Simply we can say na q upon t. So 2000 upon 1000 plus going to be surrounding, so it will be positive 2000 upon 500. Yes, we will get the plus 2. Yeah, C for Chennai is the right answer. C for Chennai is the right answer, and fortunate most of you have given the correct answer. That is the next question from the entropy, availability. That is the another question on your screen from the availability. Try to solve that question within 30 seconds or 1 minute, not more than that. Question number 54 on your screen. What answer is coming out to be 54? A heat engine receives heat at the rate of 400 kilowatt from a source at 1200 Kelvin, reject waste heat to a sink at 300 Kelvin. If the power output from the engine is 200 kilowatt, what is the reversible, okay, power and the irreversibility rate of the process? We have to be calculate I also. What answer is coming out to be, dear? Anybody? 54 Chennai. Yes. See there. That you have to be calculate the maximum reversible work. So calculate the efficiency. From there we'll get the reversible work. It is coming out to be 300, because efficiency is equal to W reversible upon Q supply, heat supply. Now what is irreversibility? W max minus W actual. Maximum is 300, actual you are getting 200, clearly mentioned. So that is irreversibility, clearly mentioned in the question. देखो 200 मिल रहा है ना आपको, 200 मिल रहा है ना, तो कितना इरिवर्सिबिलिटीज था? तो 100 था हमारे पास इरिवर्सिबिलिटीज। तो 54 का देखो ऐसे ही क्वेश्चन पे चलना है आपको, है ना। डोंट बी फियर्ड कि क्वेश्चन का लैंग्वेज क्या है, क्वेश्चन लेंथी लग रहा है। नो, डोंट बी फियर्ड, जस्ट बाय सी द लेंथ ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, ट्रस्ट ऑन योर कॉन्सेप्ट, देन प्रोसीड। सो ए हीट इंजन रिसीव्ड हीट इतना फ्रॉम ए सोर्स ऑफ दैट, रिजेक्ट वेस्ट हीट टू इतना, है ना। इफ द पावर आउटपुट फ्रॉम द इंजन इज ओनली 200 किलोवाट, दिस इज एक्चुअल दैट यू आर गेटिंग। What is the reversible power? Reversible and irreversibilities. Because if it is a reversible, no any irreversibility will be found. It will be 0. But since only 200, so let me check from that. So if you are going to be check, simply we can see here. Here efficiency is 1 minus T2 upon T1. Just put the value. We are getting efficiency. From there we will get the work. It is coming out to be 3. And irreversibility W maximum minus W actual will get the irreversibility. That is another question from the power plant. Question number 55 on your screen from the power plant. What will be answer? If the enthalpy drop to a moving blade and the fixed blade of the steam turbine is 20 kilojoule per kg and 30 kilojoule per kg, then the what is degree of reaction? What will be degree of reaction? It is going to ask in question number 55. Anybody? Degree of reaction क्या होता है? Heat drop in the moving blade upon heat drop in a state, that is moving blade plus fixed blade, है ना। heat drop in a moving blade upon heat drop upon moving plus fixed. Just put the value, इसका value put करो। heat drop moving upon per stage, degree of reaction is coming out to be how much percent? 40% degree of reaction is coming. So even it was an easy question. Again you are able to solve that question. The output in a gas turbine cycle 800 kilojoule per kg. The compressor work is 500 kilojoule per kg, whereas heat supplied is 15,000 kilojoule per kg. The thermal efficiency of the cycle. Easy question. You are able to solve that question, Maurya. Answer that question. What answer is coming out to be question number 56? Anybody? How much percent? 55, 56? Just see dear. Given data, efficiency W net upon Q supply. W net will be what? 800 minus 500 work of turbine upon minus work of compressor. W net is what? Work of turbine minus work of compressor upon Q supplied. And by solving that, how much value is coming out to be? 20%? Yes. Okay. What will be answer of that question? The efficiency of a diesel cycle compared to Otto cycle efficiency. The efficiency of diesel cycle approaches to Otto cycle efficiency. When it will approach? What should be cutoff ratio for that? When Otto cycle and diesel cycle both have same efficiency. The efficiency of diesel cycle approaches to Otto cycle when cutoff is what? 0. When cutoff is what? 0. Then both the efficiency will be equal, not dear? Cutoff ratio. So C for Chennai is the right answer. Yeah. That is the next question. A engine having clearance volume as 20 centimeter per cube and total volume is 320 centimeter cube. Mechanical efficiency is 90%. Volumetric efficiency is 80%. The volume of charge that can be available in the engine after suction. That is again question from the power plant. What answers you are able to give that? क्या जाएगा आंसर दोस्त? Waiting. Okay, मैं बैठ जाऊं. 57 now you have to 58 you have to answer. Clearance volume 20, total volume 320, mechanical efficiency 90, volumetric efficiency is 80%. Use all that data. 58D, let me check. See, given data, what will be the VT? VT is total volume, you can say VS plus VC, swept volume plus clearance volume. Mechanical efficiency is 90%. So VS plus VC 320. Okay, from there we can get the VS. VS is what? Swept volume. Volumetric efficiency is what, my dear friends? Actual suction upon theoretical swept volume. Actual suction we can get, and it is coming out to be 240. How much it is coming out to be? 240. Simple question it was. The compression ratio for diesel engine is close to, I think that question you are able to answer. The compression ratio for diesel cycle is close to what value to be close? 59 no 60. 15 to 20 na, right? Chennai. Exactly 22 will be there, but okay, according to option we can say. Next, the efficiency of a Carnot cycle is 0.75. The cycle is reversed. Its COP as a heat refrigerator is. The efficiency of Carnot cycle is given 0.75. If the cycle is reversed, its COP as a heat refrigerator. What will be answer of that question? Question number 60 on your screen. $60. What answer? 60. 60. What answer you are going to be give? देखो efficiency of Carnot cycle क्या होता है बताओ. See here, efficiency of Carnot cycle 1 minus TL upon TH या T2 upon T1. COP of heat pump always 1 upon efficiency. COP of heat pump is always 1 upon efficiency. So you are getting 1.33. COP of refrigerator is always COP of heat pump. COP of heat pump is equal to COP of refrigerator plus 1. Now subtract and we'll get the value. It is coming out to be how much? 1.33 minus 1. Okay, always keep in mind efficiency of heat pump is equal to 1 upon efficiency of what? COP of heat pump is equal to 1 upon efficiency. Always keep in mind. Even I can prove that also, but don't waste your time just by proving that. Okay. Next question. A liquid would weight the solid. When liquid जो है solid को weight करेगा. Answer that question. Question number 61 from the fluid mechanics. When a liquid can weight the solid, adhesion force is 0. Huh? Question number what? 61. Adhesion is more than cohesion, right? Or adhesion force is equal to cohesion. Adhesion force is less than cohesion. A liquid will, if the adhesion force is more than cohesion force here, then only it will be weight. Na? Adhesion is what? That is force of attraction between unlike particle in the nature, right? Cohesion is like particle. So this is one of the surface, this is water. So at the interface, adhesion force is there. Na? So if adhesion force is stronger, then it will weight. Otherwise, not possible to weight. Why in a hydraulic cylinder compressed from an initial volume of that to that, pressure increase from that to that, the bulk modulus of elasticity of the while. Bulk modulus you have to be calculate. Can you calculate the bulk modulus of elasticity? This is just reversibility of, this is just opposite of compressibility. So change in pressure is given, change in volume is given, right? What? In a hydraulic cylinder compressed from initial volume, V1 is given 2, compressed V2 is given 1.96. So dV is known, yes sir, minus, okay, compress of 0.4, not minus, okay. Pressure increases from 40 to 80. So what is dP? dP is 40, 80 to 40. So simply we can say 80 minus 40. So it is coming out to be 40. So what is bulk modulus? What is K? What will be K? Tell me. K is volumetric upon change in pressure now. No, let me again, that thing is hanged. Right. Change in pressure upon volumetric strain, and volumetric strain upon change in pressure is bulk mode, you know, compressibility. So just put that value. Just put that value, and by putting that value, we'll get the value is coming out to be 200 megapascal. This is next question. A rectangular plate 1 meter wide, 2 meter deep is held just below the surface of water. The total pressure on this lamina is, total pressure on that surface it is going to be asked. What will be answer? Total pressure you have to be calculate. This is one of the rectangular surface, right? It has been deep in the water like that. So what is the total force? Rho g ah bar. You know hydrostatics force is what? Rho g ah bar. Right now, if you think about hydrostatics force, so rho g ah bar, every data you have, area and all, h is what? 1 meter, half it will be, है ना, पानी को ऐसे टच कर रहा है ना जी, तो अगर ये 2 है तो ये कितना ऊपर होगा, यहाँ से 1 होगा ना, सेंटर, राइट. क्लियर है? Okay, so just put that value and we'll get the value is coming out to be 19.6 kilonewton. Well, that is another question from the, you know, buoyancy and flotation. Question बोल रहा है, A piece of wood of volume V, a specific gravity 0.87, float on the surface of liquid of a specific gravity 1.31. Okay, the portion of wood which is submerged in the liquid will be. What will be answer of that question? That is question from the buoyancy and flotation. हाँ, उस पार्ट से क्वेश्चन लिया गया है. Waiting for your answer. Anybody? See, a piece of wood of volume V, a specific gravity 0.87. So what is density of body? Simply we can say 870. Float on the surface of liquid. Liquid density is how much? This is given 1.31. So 1.31 means 1310. Right? Yes, sir. The portion of the wood. My dear friends, see, you know, we can say this is. So from downward, buoyancy force will act. From above, weight will act. Since it is going to float, so we can say buoyancy force is equal to weight of body. Buoyancy force is equal to what? Weight of body. Buoyancy force is what? It is displaced liquid. जब आप बॉडी को पानी में डालोगे तो पानी को डिस्प्लेस करेगा कि नहीं करेगा? Whatever weight has been displaced, that will be the buoyancy force. So simple we can say rho of F into G into V submerged is equal to rho of B into G into V of B. Right? So everything is given. 13 G will cancel out. So 13 10 is into V submerged is equal to 870 into V. So what will be V submerged? What will be V submerged? So it will be V 870 upon 1310 upon 1310. Now solve and we'll get the value. Just solve that. इसको solve करो और आपका आंसर आ जाएगा. So by solving that, how much value is coming out to be? Yeah, that value you are getting 0.66. 0.66 we can say more precisely. Okay, my dear friends, try to answer that question. I am going to be zoom out, okay, and try to answer that question. Answer that question if it is visible to you. Answer question number 65 on your screen. 10 question is further left. What answer? Anybody? Question number 65. A for apple. Okay, A for apple is the wrong answer. A for apple is the wrong answer. What about others? A for apple is the wrong answer. Anybody want to be take any attempt? Apple गलत जवाब है. What will be 65? Huh? See, G is above M. G is above M. It will be unstable. G is above M. G will be 2. G will be, okay, A will be 2. A will be 2. Okay, sir. So either C or D. Well, G and M coincide. Neutral. B will be the 4. B will be the 4. Only D looking like. G is below M. G is below M stable. So C will be 1. But sir, FB is more than W. FB is more than W. Is it possible? क्या कभी ऐसा हो सकता है किसी बॉडी को हमने पानी में डाला तो बॉडी की हवा में फेंक दिया और बॉडी हवा में लटक रहा है? इज इट एवर पॉसिबल? हमने किसी बॉडी को पानी में डाला, समझ रहे हो बात, और इसको हवा में फेंक दिया. या व्हाट इज बुओयेंसी फोर्स? इट इज द फोर्स डिस्प्लेस्ड बाय द लिक्विड ना डियर. तो जितना वेट होगा बॉडी का उतना ही डिस्प्लेस करेगा या उससे ज्यादा करेगा? नहीं करेगा सर. करेक्ट आंसर इज ई. E is the right answer because FB equal to W. That never possible. Never possible. That never, है ना? ये कभी भी नहीं हो सकता कि buoyancy force weight से ज्यादा हो. That never possible, dear. Clear or not? Tell me, aspirants and all. Clear that point? Clear or not? Clear? So don't make a mistake like that, right? Buoyancy force more than weight is never possible. Never means never. So correct answer is what? E for elephant. Come to the next question. I think that you are able to answer very easily. A ship enters into a river from a sea. One can expect. What one can expect? A ship entered into a river from a sea. One can expect. देखो, you can say sir, rho F is equal to weight. Okay, so rho F G into V submerged is equal to something constant. Rho of F. Okay, G cut off. So rho F into V submerged. If you talk about is equal to something constant. If you talk about C enters river from C, C से river में जा रहा है. So we can say, so rho of F in case of C is always more than rho of F in case of river. रिवर के डेंसिटी से सी का डेंसिटी ज्यादा होता है ना, रिवर के डेंसिटी से. तो रमन चले जाओ यार, क्या दिक्कत है ना. अब यू कैन वॉच द लेटर आल्सो, क्या दिक्कत है अभी. 10 more minutes I will take, minimum 10 more minutes I will take. तो देखो, जिसका डेंसिटी ज्यादा है उसमें भी सबमर्ज कम होगा. डेंसिटी ज्यादा होगा तो भी सबमर्ज कम होगा, बिकॉज देयर मल्टीप्लिकेशन मस्ट बी कांस्टेंट. समझ रहे हो. So a ship enters into river from sea, so it will sink little bit. It will sink little bit. So B for Bombay is the right answer. It is going to be sink little bit. इसीलिए कभी कभी बोलता है ना कि इसमें तैरना आसान है, रिवर समुंदर में. Okay, answer that question. The continuity equation is valid for incompressible fluid, whether flow is steady or unsteady. Steady flow. What will be answer of that question? Question number 68. Incompressible fluid, either flow is steady or unsteady. So that equation is basically talk about incompressible. Even flow could be steady or unsteady also. Both. So correct answer is B. In some book, wrong answer is there. Right? That is applicable only for the incompressible. You cannot find the steady from that equation. So B for Bombay is the right answer. That is the next question. A body moving in a horizontal line with a certain velocity start ejecting mass downward at a constant rate. The horizontal velocity of body will remain unchanged, start increasing at a constant rate, start decreasing at a constant rate. What will be answer? What will be answer? If a body moving horizontal, right? And always keep in mind, in that case now, I am going to neglect the air resistance. हम लोग एयर रेसिस्टेंस को यहाँ पे निग्लेक्ट कर लेंगे. यू हैव टू बी निग्लेक्ट द एयर रेसिस्टेंस. So if a body moving horizontal line with a certain velocity start ejecting mass downward, in that case, since body is going to move downward, Newton's law ना, तो उसका भी velocity क्या रहेगा, सेम ही रहेगा. Because why? क्योंकि ये बॉडी जो हवाई जहाज है ना, यूनिफॉर्म वेलोसिटी से जा रहा है, तब जो बॉल को छोड़ेगा उसका भी स्पीड यूनिफॉर्म रहेगा इन हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन. यस, वर्टिकल डायरेक्शन में बढ़ेगा. Why? Because in the vertical direction, gravitational force is acting, but in the horizontal direction, no one force is there. Right? That's why. Which of the following condition to detached flow? Which of the following is the detached flow? Which of the following is what? Detached flow, it is going to be asked. Clear? Yes, detached flow means that should be negative, right? Then we'll get the detached flow. And obviously, the specific speed of turbine, where n is the speed, only one question is left. P is the power generated, Q is the rate of flow, H is the head available. So what will be the formula of specific speed? Turbine na n root under P h के power 5/4. N root under P h के power, a student is getting confused in P or Q. Just keep in mind, from the turbine you are getting power. From turbine you are getting power, so n root under P, and h के power 5/4. If you talk about pump, so it will be n root under 5 h के power 3/n root under Q, because from the pump you are getting discharge, you are getting water, but from the turbine you are getting power. So that is just a way by which it will be easy to recall you. The maximum hydraulic efficiency of a Pelton turbine. What will be maximum efficiency of impulse turbine? Anybody? Yes. So it will be 1 plus cos of 5/2. A for apple is the right answer. My dear friends, I think I have given one WhatsApp group is there, so join there, and just after the class I am going to be share PDF here, okay? But suppose you are getting late, so put the message there ki please share the PDF. I will share, right? So my dear friends, that all about the today session. Thank you, and yeah, good luck for your exam. I will share that PDF in the group. Now, if anyone have any doubt, we can ask. Otherwise, lot of good luck to all of you. Give your best. Keep handling the pressure in the exam. Okay, resting is good. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you all. Thank you. Bye bye. And yes, good luck to all.